Hey, Scotty's already stuffed it all up, mate. How are you going?
No worries at all, fellas. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
No worries, brother, man.
How you going, mate? Already. Peachy King.
How are you, brother?
Okay.
How are you, brother, man?
Good.
How's things? How's things?
Good.
Not bad at all. Not
Good,
bad
good.
At all. Yeah.
Before we get some hair into the studio.
Yeah. Change it up a bit.
Yeah, don't worry.
Jealous, bro.
Plenty to go around, but if you haven't, I get like a full wig stuck in the shower at the end of every week.
But it grows back.
Yeah, well, no, this is Lucy's.
I used to have hair like that.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
How old are you?
Just turned 30.
Yeah, well, I lost mine about 35, so it's coming.
I'll be right.
I'm Lebanese. I got hair like that everywhere except my head. Everywhere.
Oh, mate, I'm getting more hairs. That's what's skitzing me out.
Yeah?
Like coming up with the pecs. I've got like new ones on my arms.
Yeah, it's fun, bro.
It's like those cooked farmers' shoulders where you see the hair sticking out the bottom of the singlet.
Yeah. Love that. What's going on with you, Rocco?
Just trying to get this all going, and then we're up there. So is everyone, like, I'm always worried, everyone can see us and hear us properly. Just give us a big yes. All good, man. Last day before I take off to my adventure over to Thailand tomorrow.
Nice. Looking forward to it?
Of course, man. Always, man. I'm looking forward to just the break, man. Just I want to do nothing, man. Like, I can't wait, man. Like, it's going to be good, man. Just like relax, man. Just been busy. Now we just go away and I
3
do
weeks?
nothing, just eat. Yeah, I haven't even returned I haven't even got a return flight back, you know.
So this might be the last episode of Unfiltered.
When I get there, we'll work out when we're going to come back, but about 3 to 4 weeks,
Cool.
And how many of those weeks are going to be spent shitting your guts out?
No, I'm pretty good at it now. I've been a million times.
I've never been overseas, but like
haven't you?
Bali, Thailand, and that is like it's never appealed to me. Just because it seems like the deal is if you're there for a week, 2 weeks, you're spending half of it just the sickest you've ever been in your life.
You're not. You can get shots and that, like for the Bali. Is it the Bali or Bali, whatever it is? So you can get all that kind of stuff, but look, there are, like things they say, it's the water and that gets you, you know what I mean? So you drink bottled water but then you kind of get caught out because you could go and have a salad and they wash it with the water.
That's what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
So you got to worry about that bit there, you know? So, but...
Sometimes they don't rinse the ping pong balls after the show.
Yeah. And they land in your mouth. Once
again, it just...
again in my mouth. I hate it, mate.
I hate sitting in the front row.
What's this one? Is this... We got Thomas, we got Rocco Model. Thomas, is this going to be the first Unfiltered talking about transgender? Oh, it might come up. I'm not sure about that. We got Rocco Model. We got Rat Poison. He's been on since last week, waiting for Tiger. I'm telling you, he sent me messages. The bloke, like, he's fantastic. Become a member, and you still get your 25% off.
Absolutely.
Right? So become a member. He's great, man. He just comes on. He spends all week thinking about what he's going to. What did he call me before?
Marxist.
Marxist.
No, an inadvertent Marxist.
Oh, what does that mean?
It means that whatever you are.
Not for me, for the people out there.
It's just political theory, and it's just a mindset for fuckwits, and you're inadvertently being one of those. But I don't think that's what Rat Poison is trying to imply.
That's fantastic.
He's a legend. I love Rat Poison.
He's on everything.
Yeah,
he's on everything, man. And
true sicko. We love it.
He's a sicko.
I want to give a shout out to Chichio Dan.
Yes.
Who has played Inner Bloom 1 million times this week. What did you think?
Yeah.
You played the song?
I played the song straight away that night.
No, unfortunately.
It's a very
the soul.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah.
One of the greatest songs. Do you believe in God?
Now, what happened was I listened to it. Now, the song is great. I love the song. A really, really good song. I didn't still get the 4 minute 20. What is it? 4:26.
5:46.
5:46. I didn't get it.
It's where the song changes.
Yeah, it does change, but I don't get like the whole, it's an experience.
Yeah.
But it was good, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I'll give it a listen on the drive home.
Yeah,
I can just play it now, actually, if you want to.
No, that's all we need, and then they'll just quickly take us off. So that's good. And I had a few people say they listened to it, so that was really good. And I listened to Blonde again.
Thoughts?
Yeah, I like it. I told you I like it. I liked it. Different sorts of music.
Did it feel differently going back to it?
Yeah, 100%.
Because you kind of knew what you were...
100%. It's like going for, when you go for a drive and you go down the street you don't know and it feels like it takes like forever because it's unknown. The brain works where it's unknown, so you're trying to, and then on the way back it feels a lot quicker because you've seen it. It's the same with the album. It's like I kind of knew it was about to come, up, and you wait. And when you listen to albums, you kind of wait for certain parts, wait for certain songs, Yeah, so no, it was good. It's good. I'm glad you introduced me to it. Yeah,
it's brilliant. I don't know if you've heard of Frank Ocean.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
Album Blonde.
Yeah.
I've got a tattoo right there.
Yeah, he's got the tattoo.
It's a brilliant album. If you haven't heard it, I highly recommend it.
I haven't listened to anything since Pyramids, to be honest with you.
Really? That's a great song.
It's
a brilliant song.
I was like, alright, he's peaked. Don't need it anymore.
Trust me, mate. Blonde is...
Wasn't he just like talking about how like I know he wishes he wasn't famous or he's like, I walk down the street, everyone recognises me.
Yeah, he hates fame.
Yeah.
He absolutely hates it. I think the way he actually treats his fans as well is kind of shitty because he does feel uncomfortable with that fame. When he does concerts and that, it's not always the best. I mean, he cancels them last minute and so he's always a bit flimsy when it comes to his fan, but his art is amazing. His art is brilliant. I've actually got 2 albums to show you tonight, Rocco. So
I just saw that.
I was going to get one, but I was like, can't do one without the other because I think they do go kind of side by side. There's a story for both of them. So
I like it. I like the album part of it because I like been listening to different sorts of music. I could be stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
The whole time. Like I listen to 80s and some 90s just repeat over and over and over again. I just got my mix and I'll just play that all day and night, man. I'm stuck in the 80s.
Well, it's easy to be like in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know what you hear.
Yeah, of course. But since the first show, right? Pink Floyd, I've gone through everything again, man. I miss not listening to Pink Floyd. It was a while that I stopped listening to it, Not that I stopped listening to it, but sit down and listen to the whole. As I said, man, people don't listen to whole albums anymore. Sit down, put it down. It's like an evening out, You listen to the whole album, and I've been doing that because, especially those days, I found a lot of albums tell a story.
Exactly, it's an art that's been lost.
Yes.
Because an album specifically has a start and an end point. Now it's just like when something's up or when it's ready, it'll be out there because it's just so easy to publish now.
100%. And usually a song, it's mainly just like a one hit. You just listen to and you always go back to that. And a lot of times if you listen to albums, you can see a change in them during the album with their songs. You can actually see this change happening. So it's real. And then they talk about it and you go, I noticed that. That it went like, I'll go completely out, completely different. But it's like it goes from real happy to sad, for example. And then you listen to it and you go, oh, that's weird. And then you'll go, through making that album, I lost my partner or something. You go, oh, that's why it sounds like that.
Well, you actually see it. You see the album turn.
There's a structure, and like when you're playing on vinyl or CD or cassette, you can't just hit shuffle and like have a mix.
100%.
Well, it bothers me when people listen to albums on shuffle. I feel like it's disrespectful to the artist who's actually created this album to be listened to in this sequence. I've actually resequenced albums myself, like
sicko.
I'll listen to an album and I'll be like, man, I wish this track was like, I wish it makes more sense for a track to be there. So I just jump on Spotify and I just create a playlist of the album, but in the sequencing that like makes more sense to me. So I don't know. Sequencing is so important to me on an album, and I think it's a lost art form.
No, it is. It is, man. You don't, and a lot of times now you're just listening to like singles. Like someone will bring out like one song. You know what I mean? And then their album, I don't know. You just don't even listen to it anymore. Where it used to be, an album used to come out and the single used to come out.
Is that how it used to be?
Yeah.
So the album would drop first?
No, there would be a single and then the album, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the single will be that hit,
Even when I was growing up, the B-sides would come from the singles rather than on the album.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the other thing, like now albums.
There's no B-sides.
What with the things, yeah.
There's a deluxe.
Yeah.
They do a deluxe version now where they add certain stuff, which is still cool.
But it was a package too. It was a proper piece of art, because even just the booklet as well. A lyric book would have so much more than that, and special notes and everything.
Well, that's why I love records, because you buy some records and artists really care about their records. Yeah. Whereas, most artists now don't even release a physical copy of their album. No. It's just get it on Spotify, Apple 100%. Music, and that's it.
So, with that, I believe, all these talent shows have ruined music.
Yeah.
They've ruined music.
In what way?
Because I watch them and they build an artist, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a fairly good singer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A fairly good singer, you know what I mean? And they produce the songs for them, they produce it, you know what I mean? That, for me, it always goes back to those bands who played in the garage, and then they played at pubs, and they slowly built, and then they became great, you know what I mean? That work ethic is kind of gone a little bit, and don't get me wrong, I reckon they still work hard, you know what I mean? But it's, I don't know, it kind of killed it a bit.
What's the last band that you know of that had that trajectory? From garage to, I don't know, even if it was just a B-list act?
I don't know, it'd be a long time ago. Is it someone I don't know, far out?
I'm not good with bands.
Yeah.
I'm not too good.
That's all.
What do you think?
But it's because really, even from the 60s onwards, that kind of rock folk era, all the acts from those days were just as contrived as the talent show acts that you see these days.
Yeah.
They always had connections, or they got selected and then pushed through the mainstream to kind of cultivate a culture or a genre, which was straight out of the Laurel Canyon in the 60s, and then it could be X Factor, that bullshit these days. Have you ever been to one of those live tapings, X Factor or Australian Talent? I went to X Factor once.
Oh, did you?
You see hundreds of people queuing up for their audition. Everyone that actually performs, they're the ones that already had their agents applied months ago, were pre-approved, and they're the ones that have been selected. It's the nuffies out of the hundreds that get through and embarrass.
Oh, so the good ones are already planned, man. They're going to be there,
Yeah, and it's the same from the fucking Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Or the Doors. It was basically the same story, but then
really,
but then that whole generation, their family were all military, CIA connection. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Jim Morrison's father was the general, whatever you call it, in the Navy that was behind the Gulf of Tonkin, which led the US into Vietnam.
There you go.
Frank Zappa's dad was a part of, I think it was MI5 because it was English, but it was part of their version of MK Ultra, LSD research, and then all of a sudden his son, the Grateful Dead, just has endless supply of drugs and gives it to everybody and creates this scene.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. But you don't see that shit anymore these days, do you?
No. Well, not that we know of. It's probably in a different way.
It is. I reckon it's a different way now. It's a different
parties.
Wow. Then they've got the next extreme level there. Yeah. Hey, listen, let's have a drink. I know you don't drink alcohol, do you?
You don't drink?
Nah, negative. No, I had a good innings, 10 good years on it, and I thought I'd give everyone else a chance.
Yeah, that's
how long have you been sober for?
Over 2.5 years.
Well done, bro.
Yeah. But tell me something. You were sober because you must have been a fucking drunk.
Oh, well, just your standard. I'm just a country lad,
So you used to drink a lot.
Yeah, but just the same as anybody else. But it was just
but what's the same? You might think it was the same.
Polish off a couple slabs here and there every weekend. You'd start on Thursday night.
That's a lot.
Friday.
That's a lot, man.
Go till Sunday night.
2 slabs a week.
That's a lot.
Weekend. That's
well, that's averaging it out, and then plus everything else. There's not too much to do where I'm from, but everybody falls into that same cycle, and eventually you just got to break out. And I do the exact same shit that I was doing before. I can just drive myself home, or drive everyone else home now as well.
Oh, good on you, man.
But
well done.
Every now and then, start salivating. Red wine was my biggest one, where I'm red wine, and can't say the other one, but I'm just man, maybe just once.
Yeah.
Nah, but then I'm I've got to challenge myself.
Good on you.
I can't give in.
Well, you got your zeros there.
You got the zeros there, so...
Cheers, fellas. Love you,
Cheers, Rock. Cheers, everyone.
Let's get fucked.
So that's amazing. So as I said, if you're telling me you drank a couple of slabs on the weekend, that's a lot of beer, man.
Well, average it out. That's like between going to the pub and that's over maybe 3 or 4 nights and just non-stop.
Still a lot.
There's other things that like make it a lot easier that kind of sober you up or take you another way.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially like out in rural areas, you just, as just said, you're in a cycle. You're going through that Monday through Friday and then you're just blitzing through the next Monday. And you'll do that for, 60 to 80 years of your life and not think twice about it.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where, like a light bulb moment or something that happened?
It started catching up with me because that was my cheat. Like I never got hungover. So I could just keep going, and still am like the biggest FOMO agent. So like I just always want to stay up and just not miss out on anything. Like fuck sleeping, fuck eating. I just want to keep going. But then, it started catching up with me. I started getting hungover. I'm just like, I had the summer before my 28th birthday, like my birthday is in April, and like almost every day during that break, it was just on it. And I'm just like, I need to take a handle of this or else. Yeah. Because what I found is like when you're a long-term piss head, you stop to care.
It's good that you've admitted it now. You're a long-term.
Oh, no. I was under control. I was fine.
You
just stop caring.
Yeah.
And that was me at, 27. If I was, my old man's age, like 67, I couldn't imagine where I was at that point.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking face was getting all puffy and shit. And, I just said, I need to cut down. So, Monday through Friday, not drinking anymore, going to leave it for the weekends.
Your mates, all drinkers, of course?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's
Do you still see all those guys?
Of course. I haven't changed the habit at all, except I actually get to go to bed.
Yeah, so you still go to the pub and that?
Yeah. It skitzes everyone out.
Good,
Everyone's
man.
like, how the fuck can you be around a bunch of fucking drunk people, whatever?
That's good.
But I don't mind, I don't care. Everyone else can have fun. And I'm still having fun.
Well, that's the main thing, as long as you're still having fun and,
My biggest thing was I hate to embarrass myself. And there were a couple of times where I started to embarrass myself. Even if it was just the tiniest little thing, like, fuck, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? Even if it was completely innocuous.
But you can do that when you're straight.
I still do, don't worry. But, so I'd always like keep it on the down low, like even when I was hammered. And so after the first few months, my mates were just like, mate, you're no different than when you were pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll take that.
Well, it's good that you're still a good buzz, because like I know people who've gone, sober as well, but they've become like totally different people.
Yeah.
Kind of preach this fucking holier than thou life. And that's not fun to be around, So, hey, good. Firstly, good on you for, recognizing, that there was potential for long-term abuse, long-term issues. That's an amazing win in itself. So, like, congratulations on that. And then to actually go through with it and not let it affect the rest of your life. That's well done, bro. You should be really proud of yourself.
First, before we keep going, because I like this conversation. Yes, Rocco Moro. This is Heisenberg. It does look a bit like me.
I thought it was him. I told him, are you wearing a t-shirt of yourself?
Top,
brilliant.
Probably in the top 3 best series ever.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll cop that.
I enjoyed it when it was coming out. I watched it week by week since the first series and just enjoyed the ride.
Yeah.
But I couldn't watch it a second time.
I watched it like 4 times.
Yeah. Were you still following every cliffhanger, every...
Yeah, I love it, because to me, like, this show, Breaking Bad, it became... Every episode was like a little movie. It was really, really... And especially near the last few, like I think season 5 and that...
Second half of the 3rd season and nearly all the 4th season, they really hit their stride.
Yeah.
5th, it was like, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, they were wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I just loved it, where we're going to get back to the other thing, but I just loved it because seeing someone turn so much, and that's why it's called Breaking Bad, turn from like the school teacher and never did anything wrong to one of the biggest drug lords and just wiping everyone out, and what he had to do. Look, some people hate him because they think,
he was an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But he was always Heisenberg. Like that was his ultimate downfall was his ego. He always had that. Yeah.
But I loved him. You know why? Because I'm an old school mafia lover, right? to me, if you're going to go into that role, you have to go all in.
Yeah.
There's no half, because you saw the half-hearted all die.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to do it, you have to do it. You've got to take everyone out. You know what I mean? And if it means you take out your family, you have to. And if you can't do that, yes, and if you can't do that, then don't do it. Don't get involved. You know what I mean? And to me, he was like perfect. You know, like the way he evolved. You know.
Yeah. So you feel like pure anti-hero, or was he? I just came off that he was just the villain the entire time.
It's hard because I class him as an anti-hero, which is the same, like my favourite TV show of all time, Sopranos.
Yes.
Easily, like for me. And Tony Soprano was a piece of shit guy, right? But I don't know.
The thing is, they made you, with Sopranos, it was more than just mafia, it was about family.
Life, everything, general life.
So that's why you fell in love with it. If they showed you, right, what they really did, like mafia, what they really did, you can't possibly like them.
Well, they kind of did show you that, because he did a lot.
Yeah, I know.
That you're like, bro, he was cheating on his missus, all the time, right? He was shooting people left, right, and center, ordering hits here and there.
Yep.
So like,
but then there's always then he's in the kitchen eating all up.
Yeah, exactly. So
they soften it up.
So I don't think they soften it up. I just think this is. Well, that's the reality.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the first reality hitting moments in that series, mind you, I've only watched the first two, was when Silvio comes around and he busts up the rub and tug joint.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, oh fuck, this is real actually.
That's when
well, it's more like this is really the dark underbelly of what you're almost getting lulled into that kind of this is just a bunch of silly cool fellas.
People. Yeah. Nah, but it's real. It's I think that's what I liked about The Sopranos as well. For me, it was like,
and he had problems. Like,
of course he did. Yeah, he was seeing a
so that was a big part of it too.
And that was like,
that were great parts to go take a piss or go do something else for 5 minutes.
They were the best parts of the show.
They were good.
They were the best parts of the show. Like, that entire show for me was like, that set the standard for TV shows for me.
It's one of the best.
Absolutely.
So that, Breaking Bad, and to me, the other one which I absolutely loved was, I loved Better Call Saul because it was second part. But Vikings.
Yeah, you were saying that.
I loved Vikings. I was addicted to it so bad. When it ended,
so my old man, he just would go to the end, start from episode 1 again, and just.
Do you know? So, spoiler alert, right? But if you kind of know it, like the main actor Ragnar, he dies in like 3/4 or halfway. I hope I haven't spoiled it for anyone.
Just destroyed the show.
I don't give a fuck. You should have watched it by now. It's been out 6 years.
Yeah.
Right? I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was hard for me to get back into it because he was such a main character.
How many series can survive though after the main character dies?
But it did.
Yeah.
And then they made his son, like he became the leader.
Was that the cripple one or?
No, that was later on, and I hated him, and then I started to love him. But no, it was Ian. Oh, what was his name? Anyway, he's a big fella, man. What was his name? Someone will say it in there. And then he became like really good leader, of the Vikings, and so then I fell in love with it again, and Lagerfeld, mate, hot, right? That helps a lot, man, when she's like, but I just love the Vikings, and then I got fascinated with Vikings. I started researching and listening to podcasts, man. I was just fascinated with what they did. They were amazing people, man.
Yeah.
And then their whole thing was they would go and just rape and pillage whatever city they could find, And then the first time I remember when they first arrived on the beach and they went to the first place and there was a church and there was all the monks in there. And they just walked up and first of all, they wouldn't be able to understand them. Right, but they speak English, so. And then the second thing, they're huge. Vikings are huge, right? So imagine you're sitting there as a monk. They're not violent at all, and then these just monsters walk in and just start pillaging the whole place. Like you think you would start to believe in the devil himself, mate.
Yeah.
You know, like it was just amazing, mate. And then they conquered like England, a lot of England, and they reckon that there's genes in even.
It's more in Scotland than England.
Scotland was a lot,
yeah.
But they reckon even the Queen had ancestors.
She was German anyway, so.
Well, I'm talking about ancestors. There would have been some sort of genes in her from the Vikings, because they just went and took over, man.
It's like how every Italian's, a Roman centurion. Anyone that's got a dash of Scandinavian in them,
yeah.
We was Vikings.
Yeah. Vikings is the cool, is the cool one. Yeah.
I've never seen it. No, I don't know much about the Viking kind of era.
Watch it.
So.
Trust me, if it's a series.
Did you ever watch The Northman?
Yes, I didn't like it as much. Nah.
The disappointment.
At least you can appreciate something that's attempting to be a work of art.
Yeah. It was good.
I love Robert Eggers though. So
no, it was good, but it's hard because then I'm always comparing it to the Vikings. Even there's a new one called Van Halla, I think it's called. It's the sequel to it.
Okay.
And it's pretty good, Where's Ragnar, man? I want him to come back, and he is an actor from fucking Bendigo, mate.
Or Shepherd and Way,
Yeah, he's up there, man.
Is it an Aussie show, or is it like...
No.
Okay.
It's American, but
Good on him.
Yeah, and he made over there. He's such cool. So anyway, Vikings Valhalla is good as well.
You guys seen Power?
Power? No.
That's like gangster show, isn't it? Yeah,
No.
Highly recommend.
You know what I'm watching now? Penguin.
I've heard that's great.
Oh,
yes.
I've heard one.
I've heard that is brilliant.
So there's a couple more. So what's pissing me off? There's a new episode tonight, right?
Yeah.
What pisses me off? It's the weekly wait now. I usually wait, and watch it all, but I couldn't wait, And you know what? It's good. It's good. They compare a lot to Tony the Sopranos because he kind of plays that same sort of role. But it's good because it's his real life, man. Like he's a gangster just trying to make his way. He's got a disability.
Shows the early days Penguin.
Yeah.
Okay, so no Batman.
No.
I like how, because
I don't even think Batman.
That character's name's like Arthur Cobblepot.
Yeah.
They changed it just to Cobb in the show because they're like that's just that's too ridiculous.
Oswald.
They call him Oz.
They call
him Oz. Arthur Oswald.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the week going back to the weekly releases now after they got you hooked on the binge?
I don't like it.
No,
I don't like it. But then someone did say to me, it's good because it's back to the old days where you used to wait for the next episode. Because that's in the old days we had no choice.
Goes back to what we were talking about, that TikTok brain.
Yeah, it is.
We want it all now. We want everything quick and now. This is like, you know what? You can wait. You can hang on and let it build and let you think about what's coming next.
I haven't had a weekly show in Yonks, but like I read a lot of Japanese shit. A lot of that comes out weekly or monthly.
Yeah.
And I'll read it again, and then my favourite part is just reading everyone else's opinions, their theories, their breakdowns. YouTube essays, even just off of a weekly chapter.
But see, that's what I love because like you've got that gap to kind of breathe, take it in, and kind of process, and then you can kind of create your own world of where it might go. Whereas with now, it's like, all right, on Netflix, sweet, 10 episodes, just...
Yeah, I know.
And then...
And you do, and you
everyone knows.
Watch it. Man, I've watched the whole series in like 3-4 days, like one after the other, continuously watching it, one after the other, and then they always catch you at the end of the episode. You fuck, I've got to know what's going on, mate. What did he do?
You got to watch the next
Anytime
one.
I would watch anything with Dad, it would just be like, one more. Come on.
One more.
Dad, it's 11:30.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
we used to always binge like all the Lord of the Rings extended editions.
Oh, yeah. So you like all Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, love it.
Never seen it. Never seen Lord of the Rings. I watched one of them. I was a kid. Went to the movie. My dad took me to the movies to watch it. My dad loved them, and I was like, nah.
We'll set aside a long weekend for you.
Nah, it's not me. I don't think I could do it.
They're good.
Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
No,
I've seen like one season.
Yeah.
I just haven't got time for it, you know what I mean? But, I know.
But you watched Vikings 4 times.
Yes.
Personally, after the second season, I was done. And then when I got to about the 5th season, I was like, all right, I'm going to catch up and then watch it all because it's a cultural thing. And I'm a contrarian at the end of the day. Yeah. So if everybody loves something, warning signs.
Yeah.
Like, no, I got to get in there just so I can shit on it.
FOMO.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Yeah.
I watched 5 minutes of Game of Thrones, the first episode. I'm like, nah, it's just nah.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, stick to it. It's good.
I think that's one you do have to stick for with a couple of seasons, I reckon.
See, but I don't like that.
That first season, I think you can get away with just watching on its own. Because that was the peak, and it's where a lot of these series, like, they'll spend years just getting that first season out, and then now they've got 12 months of time to produce as much quality for the next, and they don't even know how long they're going. That first season, it was so tight, and Sean Bean was the greatest actor, or the way his character allowed him to be kind of the best feature of that show. And then, don't want to spoil anything, but then,
you can spoil it, bro.
For the rest of the show, he's not there, and it's just kind of like, well, it's not necessarily him. It's just nobody quite steps up there, and everything else becomes
you get stuck into like one
towards
character.
the end, it becomes very contred, and
I've got when you got something that looks like a doppelganger? A doppelganger in that show.
Yeah.
The Mountain.
No.
Reek.
The dragon, is it the dragon slayer, or is it the
Mountain?
I thought you were going to say the slut slayer.
The dragon, what was it? It was a bloke who was controlling the dragons. And have you watched it?
Yeah, I've got no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
He controls the dragon, and then that female like rolls him and gets a dragon off him.
I don't know.
And she gets the dragon off him, and then the dragon attacks him. He's only on there for about 3 or 4 episodes.
Okay. When they're in the desert.
Yeah. The slave master.
The guy. He had the slave army of all the eunuchs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And
were you one of the eunuchs?
No, the slave master, mate. I'm bloody. If you look at him, it's identical to me. Especially when I had the goatee, man. Someone showed me, and I go, no way,
Right.
So if you look him up, he's exactly me. So So. But anyway, so
I couldn't get into Lord of the Rings, man. For me, it's just I can't do that fantasy. I like real life kind of things, I like real life situations.
Maybe it's like an Anglo thing.
It's just I don't know. I like guns.
The other thing is now there's so much, right? That it's
a la carte. Yeah.
It's hard to even pick something to watch, you know what I mean? Like far out, man. Whenever I go to watch a movie or a series, man, it drives me nuts trying to find something, you know what I mean? So once you find a good series, man, I'm wrapped, because you know what you're going to watch, I hate getting down there and saying, you want to watch a movie? Yep. All right. I'll see you in an hour. I'm just going to try to find something, just go through every single one,
Tell you what I watched the other night. This catfish show on Netflix. I couldn't sleep.
The catfish from MTV.
No. It's a different one.
The one on Netflix.
It's on Netflix at the moment.
The one about the girl, the Indian girl.
The Indian girl.
I saw that.
Did you watch it?
I watched it the other night.
Oh, I couldn't sleep one night, right? And I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go on Netflix.
I saw it. That was a spin out.
I'm gonna go on Netflix and I'm just gonna press play on the first thing that comes up and hope it puts me to sleep. And an hour later, I'm just wide awake watching this thing on my phone.
I was thinking, what's going on here, man? You got to watch it because it's the weirdest catfish at the end. Don't give it away.
Yeah, but
it's the weirdest one. Because I'm thinking to myself, I don't get it. Where's it going? Are they going to ask for money? What is going on?
No, it was just walked.
9 years.
People are just
9 years.
Yeah. Imagine being catfish for 9 years. She was speaking to this guy for 9 years.
Yeah.
She met him. She actually met the bloke at a club, and then it's hard to talk about it without giving it away.
Yeah.
But
that was later, but
no, that was
already been talking to him.
Yeah, she had already been talking to him on.
But she's seen him then.
Then she's seen him, and then that was it.
She said she went up to him, and because it was loud and that, and he goes, "Oh, maybe he didn't recognise me." That's the only time,
Yeah, but she ended up talking to this person.
Yeah, right.
She got engaged.
Yeah, she got engaged.
Yeah,
got engaged to this person. Who was he got shot at and he was in witness protection. It was, bro, it's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it was good.
And you know what? It's easier to say, how dumb can you be? And this, that. But I said this to my friend. I'm like, bro, if you're one of your good mates or someone really close to you says, I know this guy and he's a great guy and don't worry and like I'll speak to him and he's just doing it hard, and this is someone you trust, you're going to believe them.
Of course.
You're not going to question them.
No. And it's true, right? But when it gets to the point where...
not even a FaceTime, but...
I know.
Not even a FaceTime, not even... And
because then he couldn't, because he was on witness protection.
Oh, right, yeah.
Then he lost his voice.
And then he lost his voice. He had a stroke.
We kind of given it away.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then they got engaged. Like, it was like the weirdest thing. And I was saying, yeah, I can understand what you just said, right? That's fair enough. But seriously, it gets to a point where you go, man, I'm not getting engaged until I see you.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Like,
what is it, a documentary or like a
it's like a document.
It is a doco.
Like those Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a catfish story. I can't name names, but I knew of a girl who was talking to this guy for like 4 years or whatever, and she was real young. I think they started when she was like 16, and just kept buying him stuff. He kept saying, "Oh, I got no credit." She'd buy him credit. I need clothes. She'd send him money for clothes, and I think when she was about 19 or something, they had this fight, and he told her, "Oh, you don't even love me." And she goes, "I'll do anything." They made her tattoo his name on her body with real fucking ink.
Oh my God.
Yeah. She tattooed his name.
But she'd met him?
No.
Never met
him.
This is what I mean, man.
But that's scary about the internet. That's what's scary. And it's just getting worse because it's so much easier now.
It's a lonely world.
It is a lonely world. And like, there's a lot more vulnerable people out there.
Hold it. I'm not getting engaged unless I'm having sex first, of course. Scotty's saying hi. He's in the chat.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. Did you hear about that kid? So like,
I was just about to
say, yeah.
14-year-old.
14-year-old offed himself because
the AI.
The AI thing.
What spun me out? He knew it was AI.
Yeah.
And he still got sucked in.
See, look. This might be harsh. To me, that's natural selection. To me,
fair enough.
Like, come on, bro. You're 4. You're not a kid. Like, you're old enough to know. You subscribe to this service.
First of all, are 14-year-olds the same as they used to be?
No, they're smarter.
I don't reckon they are.
You don't reckon?
Nah,
they're brain rot, bro. They're all skibbity rizzlers.
I reckon they're smarter, bro.
No, they're smarter in some sense where they got more info, they got... They're smarter in that, but as far as street smart...
No, they got no street smart. No, they're the dumbest people. Street smart.
So that's the worst.
Yeah, but bro, it's in your hand. It's a computer on your phone. It's got nothing to do with the streets. This is an application that you've subscribed to. You know that you're chatting to like an AI bot. And I mean the problem, like I don't. What was the issue? What did it tell him to like off himself?
So they can. I heard that the AI told him to neck himself so he can join her.
That's crazy.
Something like that.
Like, firstly, why is an AI bot doing that? Like,
well, that's the first thing. They're going to sue and all that. Like, what is going on there? Right, that's the first thing.
That's crazy that it even has that ability to kind of talk like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's red flags already. Like, I don't know, bro. I've seen Terminator. I've seen how this ends.
What's happening?
I know it's happening. Yeah, absolutely, it's happening.
I'm skeptical.
About what?
AI. Well, what the possibilities are. Even like something like that, it kind of tricks you out into thinking it's way more complex or more capable of what it actually is at the end.
But can we ever get to the complexity of a human?
Nah, not a chance. Well, you simply can't match creation.
But why?
Anytime that like you talk about this can do this can do that, especially when it's coming from the company themselves, they're just bumping their own stock up. Yeah. But like if spell check came out tomorrow, they'd say it was AI. It's really it's like an indexing tool like Google.
But we've
had those chatbots since I was 10 years old.
But I'm talking in 200 years time. I'm talking in 1,000 years' time, whatever. I'm not talking right now. It's going to take time. So the way I see it is, at the end of the day, creation and all that, but at the end of the day, the way the brain works, you know, it sends signals, it's got connections and all that, right? That's the way it works.
It's a theory, yeah.
No, it's not a theory. That's the way it works. They can see the way it works, right? So you got your connections. Yes.
That's who you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's who he's talking about.
Yeah.
The slave master.
The slave master. I love it.
Thanks, babe, for sending that through.
The slave master. Yes, the slave master. And I used to have a goatee.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that. I used to just have the
Just
goatee.
the goatee.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's like I used to show my kids, and they went, "No, that's you.
Yeah.
You've dressed up like
I'm
it,
actually
you know?
looking at it now.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking pretty.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's close.
Yeah.
It's as close as it is.
Jesus
And then
Christ.
there's other photos of him there. You go far out, man. Like,
Jesus.
Anyway, I heard this. They were talking about it on some podcast and that, and they said so. There are more connections, and like, you know, there's more connections and that more in your brain than there are fucking stars in the universe. You know what I mean? That's how many there is. So, but if you could match this, and let's just imagine, right? We're just doing it. If you could match that, right? The same. Why couldn't that become a sentient? Why? If you got the same connections, you're doing the same, you know, sending the same waves, doing everything. Why couldn't that be a sentient?
Or there's no, as far as like I understand of how I've thought about it, like sentience is completely different than, even if you fed something trillions upon trillions upon trillions of data points, it might make connections, it might simulate sentience, but there's really no way.
Why?
Because as much as what you were saying before, that like we've mapped everything out, we can see everything in front of us, but we have no idea how it works, whatever. There's still nothing that.
But because we don't know.
Well, there's no
how it works.
No concrete theory about consciousness.
No.
But then that's the most vital part of sentience.
But is that because all those connections are connecting?
Nah. It's got to be more than that. It's that unknown.
Well, no, you can't say it's got to be more than that.
There's a God-shaped hole in your theory.
No, but you can't say that it's got to be more than that, because what I'm saying is I don't know. I'm just posing the question, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's someone else's posed.
It's nice to think that is, well, a logical endpoint, but then that endpoint, when you really think about it, is so far beyond what you could possibly even see in.
Yeah, but isn't it the natural progression of evolution? Aren't you just naturally progressing to that?
Theory.
Don't you start? Isn't that the natural progression? And
God
now
won't allow it.
I think
allowed it
if
now.
you imagine like linear progression, but I think it'll hit either that asymptote or just bottom out. I think kind of
why
what we're seeing now is probably within the bracket of what we'll ever see.
you think so?
Yeah.
Nah.
I can't
see
it.
it.
That's a ballsy statement, yeah.
Yeah, but
It'll just continue. Humans will just continue. I think that humans are here just to invent and just to make things and evolve and get better. And the computer side of it, to me, right, is just the next part of it, the next evolution.
Well,
like to me, when they say aliens have come to think, if they do come, I think it'll be some sort of computer that they send out. Because if you look what we've done, we send out robots to Mars and that. I think the next level, and we've sent out like the Voyager, which has travelled for the last 70 years.
allegedly, yeah.
Nah, come on, man.
But like I know what you're saying, because
I'm with him.
We've only been here like 6,000 years, and it's really only the last 100 that we've made this progression. I know science fiction's
I've
great.
got rocks. I've got rocks in my pot plant that are older than 6,000 years.
How can you prove that?
With your carbon 14 and your carbon 12, it's already they can test with up to like, I think it's 50,000 years, and already within a range, yeah, but it's still a fairly good range. So they can test it with that, because they've tested it and they can see the half-lives of them. So they can, especially with the carbon 14, that they can test with the half-lives. So they know. You can say, how do they know? But again, they do know, because they do test upon test. And the way science work is they don't try to prove things, they try to unproven, right? So you can say whatever you want, right? I'll say two things, right? You can say whatever you want, but the 6,000 years is wrong, and even now the Vatican and that disagree with it, right? And the other thing, flat Earth, you can say whatever the fuck you want, and we're going to have one when I come back, right? I've already done the.
Well, you're
interview.
going in the plane, so
Yeah, and I'll take photos of the fucking curve, you know. But it's just,
but the windows on the plane are curved.
all the pilots are all in it. They're all in it. They all know. They just keep circling around the Antarctica wall.
They close that door and you don't see them until you land.
That's right. Yeah. You actually just go up and just go around a bit and you stop again. You don't know what's going on.
No,
But anyway, that's debatable. But what I'm saying is, like, if you just want to get into that, I'll go all day about that. But as far as technology, I think it'll just advance, and you're already half AI because you carry your phone with you. The next level is they're going to fucking put chips into your brain, right?
Not this one.
Well, they might not do it to you, but it will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen.
I think humans are like destined to self-destruct.
Yeah, but this is why I believe that it'll be, you know, will become, what do you call it when you're half-half? You know, you become like an android, and then you'll slowly... Well, it's already happening, you know what I mean? They're already putting robotic stuff in you.
You got a pacemaker.
You know, now you got a like a phone, right? Seriously, you are walking, you can't live without your phone.
Yeah.
Right? You can. You can, of course you can. But you walk around with your phone, right?
Yeah.
All this information's at your hand. What's next?
I'm telling you,
it's going to be in there. Right?
It's much easier to give you a new one of these every 2 years than to put it in your fucking head.
No, but then they'll just update it like they do the phone, mate.
The
problem is then they'll be able to control you.
The thing is, right?
Well, they don't already.
Yeah, they already control you. Yeah.
So my thing is, right, it's like, yeah, we think like that. You know, no, you're never going to chip me, you're never going to chip me. They're not aiming at you.
I'm not the average person. The average person, wow.
Well,
they queue up for anything.
Well, maybe, but like they're not. Bro, like our generation, we're a lost cause to them. They're going after the kids.
Yeah.
You know, they start indoctrinating the kids.
Yeah.
And then by the time, you know, those kids are now 18, 19, that's why, like,
they're working towards the future.
Any agenda that we may disagree with or agree with, right, doesn't even matter, because the kids are going to be taught about this at school. The kids are going to be taught about this in society, in the wider community. So we might sit there and have our little fight now, but it's a lost cause, because these kids are going to just grow up thinking that, you know,
it's normal.
Having a chip in your brain is normal.
Yeah.
So eventually it'll be normal.
The
I
other
don't think
thing
it'll get to that stage, though.
You don't think so?
I think it is.
No.
I think everything
I think
they do to dogs, they will do to us. They will mute us and they will fucking put chips in us, right? Listen to this. This is what's going to happen here, Scotty. I'm telling you what's going to happen, mate. You're not my believer. You're going to try to fight it, but this is what's going to happen. People are going to get chips put in them. They will. There will be people. You might not put it. But then what happens is they become more advanced than you, right? They will. They will, because they'll be able to do their computer stuff quicker. They'll be able, and this is what the future's all about, right? Then all of a sudden you won't be able to get a job. Right? And they'll be getting a job, you know what I mean? Your job then is going to be like cleaning up after them, because that's all you're good for, right? Later, it's going to get to a point where it's like the vaccine.
Exactly. That's where I was going to go.
I wasn't going to say it, but it was like, it's analogous to what we went through 4 years ago.
Yeah. But, and I don't agree with it, but I think, you know, like, I don't know, man, like it's that was working towards something.
That was a seed. That was a seed. That was almost like a let's see how far we can.
There were chips in it anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't forget the 5G towers.
I put a light bulb on my dad's arm and it fucking turned on.
Remember when people were saying
every time I went near the roller door, it kept opening.
Yeah.
Hey, everything I needed to see about society, like to learn about it, I saw during that period.
Real quick too, man.
Mate, people remember the toilet paper thing?
Yeah.
People went fucking crazy for toilet paper.
Yeah. You know what? It's either the computer stuff or Mad Max is going to happen.
What would you prefer?
Fuck, either one. I'd rather the computer. At least I haven't got a Mad Max. I wouldn't mind that.
Come on, bro.
I wouldn't mind
rolling
the
around. You know
the
what I
XA, mate. Oh, just trying to make
it.
Yeah, no. Well, it's either going to be one. And you're right. The toilet paper freaked me out.
It happened again recently with the eggs when they cold.
The eggs.
But the toilet paper also went with the eggs.
It's always the toilet paper.
You're right too. The toilet paper did go too.
Yeah.
It's just weird. People just went fucking crazy
Over toilet paper.
over toilet paper.
You know you can wash your ass.
Yeah. But like,
I just use my hand.
but it was just so weird to me. I don't know. It was just such a strange thing. But everything I needed to know about human nature, I just saw there. No matter how dignified you think you are, no matter how like where you think you stand in the pecking order, bro, like a lot of these people are just in that massive chunk at the bottom, right? And they're just fucking weirdos. Like they're just not right.
Yeah, 100%.
The people that weren't right, whether it was like the middle of the bell curve, just all the normies that just went through with everything. You could see it coming right from the start. And like, I didn't feel bad for anyone, didn't judge anyone for what, they said, they chose, they did. But like, I mean,
you didn't get the vaccine?
Fuck, no.
No, did you?
I did. Yeah.
My way of dealing with it is that I went to the city and punched on. Well, I got shot at.
Well, hey, I respect that.
Yeah.
I respect that. Yeah, like you had your values.
Yeah.
You stood up for your value, and like, bro, you actually like you put your money where your mouth was. Like,
it's good, man.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people were just like talking shit about it, then willingly went and got vaxxed. Now a lot of people were coerced into it, right? And like, let's be real. I reckon there's maybe 35-40% of the people who were vaxxed that probably didn't want to be vaccinated.
I reckon more.
Maybe more. Maybe more, right?
I reckon 60 to 70%.
People needed their jobs. People needed
100%.
Hey, look, I was fortunate at the time that I was still able to work and get away with it.
That was the big one.
It was work. Work was where everyone was a bit hesitant with. Like, bro, people, they had the 2 weeks off, sometimes more during lockdown, and people were losing their homes. People were literally watching their families fall apart, and then they're like, you can go back to work if you put this into your body. A lot of people, it was just like, let me just do it so I can go back to like normality. So I can get back and
normal never.
Then they lied to you about the whole testing of it, and that like it was all.
It was a crazy time.
It's
like
shit.
It was such a weird, crazy time.
And now it's just gone.
Oh, there's still.
No, I know. People get COVID and that.
Anyone can just say, I got COVID, and then there's no questions asked. You just get
what's funny? I got travel insurance today, right? Saigon Siren is my mate's book. He had a stroke over in Vietnam. The one mistake he did was not get travel insurance, man. Wow. And then to get him over, I'm telling you, it was a fortune. So get you travel. But I got the travel insurance. One thing it doesn't cover, COVID-19.
Really?
Yes.
After all that?
Doesn't cover it. It says does not cover the COVID-19. I don't give a fuck, but I'm saying, isn't that weird? Like, even now that they know it was a lie, I'm telling you, they still, the insurance company.
Hang on a second. Sorry. What was a lie?
To me, the lie, I think it was man-made.
Yeah. I agree.
Right?
I agree.
So the lie about that, it was like the monkeys and whatever. Yep. I think that they made that up.
What about all the data? What about all
lies?
All lies.
Not all.
So a lot of the science that you've used in the past.
No.
But why?
No, because that wasn't legit science. They lied to you. Because what they did was they doctored the stats. For example, they were saying...
Who doctored it?
Well, whoever wanted to, the pharmaceutical companies, the government, whatever wanted to do.
That's exactly how I feel about a lot of the science stuff that like we talk about.
Well, it depends on what
science isn't real, Rocco. If you just deny it, then you'll have a happy life.
I'm not a science denier, but I'm like...
You can't be a science denier because they're watching you through science.
I'm saying I'm not a science denier.
Science is just science. To me, is when you use the word science, right? People try to put like something against you, but science is just the way they learn stuff. That's all it is, and you do it every day of your life. So as far as that science is a lot, it's just all rubbish. But with the data they gave you, right? You can't say science was lying, because if they really did the data properly, if it was done properly, they would have given you the truthful information.
But who says what's done properly?
Well, but because for example, let's get one example of anything. Just give me an example that you think it's a lie.
I don't know if it's a lie or not.
Just give me one example.
But we spoke that you said how old was the Earth?
All right, 6,000 years. So what they do is, what you're saying is, I'm telling you, there's carbon-14 and carbon-12. They do it and they test it.
And there's
but what happened? It gets peered, like peer reviewed by people, and these are scientists all over the world, and their whole job, right, is to prove that you're wrong.
So there were epidemiologists who came out and said that, XYZ about COVID and the vaccine is this, the vaccine is that.
The government control.
And these are, but do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying.
So this is why I'm saying, like,
but there were plenty,
everything.
But there were, you have to question everything. Trust no one, question everything. I agree with that. I agree with that. But there comes a point where you can't deny stuff. You can't deny stuff. And to say, like, the Earth is 6,000 years, it's just ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous statement on top of the flat Earth. It's just ridiculous. Because they've proven that they've proven test after test after test. I mean, there's fucking dinosaur bones, which they've proven that are older than that, right? So you've got to
a couple of knuckles and a toe, and they make a whole big lizard out of it.
No, they don't. They get a lot more than that.
How many dinosaur skeletons have you seen, Rocco?
Well, I've seen a few in the fucking museum.
Well, following the carbon dating thing, do you know the Shroud of Turin?
No.
This is the shroud that was wrapped around Jesus when he was laid in the tomb and then ascended to heaven.
I know.
So we've got that. It's been carbon dated.
You haven't got that. You haven't got that.
See,
you haven't got that. You haven't got that because it's been tested and you haven't got that. And you haven't got that. And they say it's got the blood of Jesus.
Carbon dated to 2024 years ago.
Yeah. And how does that prove that it was Jesus's?
Oh, it's not just that. It's also that the way in which, because it's got his image, like X-ray burned.
It hasn't got its image. See, I've looked into this. It hasn't got its image. It's not the image of Jesus.
Do you want me to get that?
Yeah. Of course, get that. It's not my dog.
Hey, last week it might have been.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hey, we got the beautiful assistant. We got some curry.
Curry noodle.
Holy moly.
That looks incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Pork and kangaroo.
Pork and kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Nice.
Oh, holy moly. Thank you so much.
Now we're really eating the real Australian. We're eating the whole thing.
Our national animal.
Yeah, the national animal. Anyway, back to, we can go into that, but
I'm just saying. No,
but I'm saying with this, what they did was they gave you false information by doctoring the stats. So what they did was,
so they can doctor stats.
Of course they can.
That's all I need. That's all.
But because they doctor it there, doesn't mean everything. Like if I give you a book and it's got 10 false things, does it mean and the 11th thing is false? No. You've got to take everything on its own.
I'm just making it known that data can be.
Of course, it can be wrong.
Manipulated.
Of course, it can be wrong
From scientists that are giving us.
So do the Christians.
Absolutely, everybody.
100% they do.
Everybody
because that shrine, that whatever is the biggest load of rubbish I've seen. There is no proof that belonged to Jesus. There is no proof that that's the image of Jesus. First of all, the image of Jesus is ridiculous. He looks like you, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
I've never seen a white man.
You would still look like me if it wasn't for his great cousins.
Yeah. But in those days, they weren't looking like you where they were.
It was Southeast Europe, basically, the Middle East.
They weren't looking like you.
They were looking closer than me.
Yeah, I reckon they were looking. I reckon he looks like more like Jesus would have. Anyway, but but with the stats, we can go on, man. I'll go on all day.
I'm just saying that you're right. You are right. But what I'm saying is, it's nice to know that you've acknowledged that science can be doctored, science can be manipulated.
Of course.
That's it.
But I take each thing on its own merit.
Absolutely.
So I'll go flat Earth, I'll go Christianity, I'll go whatever, and then I'll go fucking the vaccine with COVID-19.
Yeah.
And it was proven that later on their stats were wrong, because what they were doing, they weren't wrong. They were saying so many deaths happened because of COVID.
Yeah.
Right? But they weren't dying from COVID. They were dying from existing
with COVID,
and they were blaming the COVID to doctor the stats. So they were getting paid for each COVID death.
So
correct?
you said that in your opinion, COVID was man-made, right? I agree. I can't say 100%. I don't want to say 100%, but I believe that it was. I have my own theory on COVID, right?
Yeah. How is that,
I think
Scotty?
Never loved kangaroo more.
Skippy.
I think COVID was spread on purpose.
Yeah.
I think it was purposely spread
By the pharmaceutical and the government?
I think by a certain government.
Yeah.
I think it was the US government. Personally, I think it was an attack on democracy.
Lemon.
Yeah, you put a little bit of it, make it a little bit. Yeah. What are you doing? You got no idea.
No. I had a mate put lemon on chicken wings the other day. I couldn't believe it.
You know, like, the one thing about cooking that I've learned from my girlfriend is sweet and sour. So she'll put even sugar into a lot of her meals because you add that little bit of sweetness into it also.
I need a fork.
Oh, yeah. Well, this was from last week. I haven't used it.
Done. Cheers, mate. So I think COVID was spread on purpose. I think the timing of COVID, I think everybody knew Joe Biden was going to lose the election.
So you reckon it was a political thing by Joe Biden?
I think it, not by Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden could organise anything.
Joe Biden couldn't even. Remember when he just fell over? Like, he would just fall over.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's running.
Yeah. So I think, I just think, I think there was too much to lose by having Trump win again, and I think.
So do you think that?
I think I don't know if I can say the word on YouTube.
Say it. Fuck 'em. Say it.
The blues.
No. I think it was a terrorist attack on the world, on democracy, by certain lobbyists, by certain people, maybe the pharmaceutical companies as well.
They would have to be pumped because they benefit from it. They're going to make a lot of money.
You just got to find the paper trail.
It's
right?
easy as just who makes the most money.
Yeah.
So
that's my opinion.
More than likely US bioweapon because it was a US bioweapon manufacturing plant. Mm-hmm. It escaped. Look at where
people are loving that kangaroo. It is good for you.
It first popped up in Iran before Italy.
Really?
Who's been trying to take out Iran for the last 20, 30 years? And and then it spread.
Good. It
or whatever. And then other specific countries also happened.
I don't leave her?
Hey?
What do you think I don't leave her?
You can't.
When it came to treatments, or alleged cures, vaccines, and that, there was always one country that had their CEOs were from there. All the money went back there. They were always first off the line to have it.
Yep.
And it was just a transfer of money. Really, from when you look at it from a purely financial standpoint of moving money to and from the pharmaceutical companies, or a transfer of money from those that could not work but wanted to work, but still had to give everything back to who could provide it, whether it was everything from fast food to aid.
Were you considered regional? Might be a dumb question. Where you live, were you considered regional?
Regional? Oh yeah, fucking oath, yeah.
Oh, that was
we got the V line, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metro stops at Packy.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So how was it for you that time?
Oh, it was it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as hectic as up here. The most fucked thing is that they shut everything down via councils, and Cardinia Shire covers up to, I don't know if you know Bunyip.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's about 20 minutes out of Packy. The Bunyip River cuts through the town of Bunyip, and Cardi Shire is divided by the Bunyip River. So one half of Bunyip, it's a 1-2 street town. One half was in lockdown, the other half wasn't. But then you had everywhere up from about Dandenong out to our way. They didn't give a fuck. They had all these blockades and shit. You just drive straight through.
We were just
even
here.
If it was shower,
one stage it was let's admit it. One stage it was really bad. We were locked in our houses, And scared to go to the supermarket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was that vibe, but things just went on.
Well, the thing is, I was lucky because of my job, right? I was still allowed to work, right? So I was working every day. I didn't miss a beat. I actually earned more money during that time than I've ever, because there was heaps of work.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and that was fine. Like, so I didn't really feel it because I got to get it. I got to go out every day. You know what I mean? I got to go to work. I got to come back. You know what I mean? I had a special pass. If anyone stopped me, hey, look, I'm a metro driver. You know, I can.
But there were many people. It was really like a form of catharsis. They wanted to be locked in just so they could feel shit about, or they already felt shit about themselves, but now they had a reason to, and they didn't want to give it up in the end either. Still to this day, you've got people doing hybrid working and other excuses like long COVID and all sorts of things. But the most lockdown I ever saw was in the CBD, and I was running around the joint.
Yeah, it was such a
really
weird
bad.
time.
Really bad in the city, man. It was like a ghost town, man. It was unbelievable. You know?
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Yeah.
I thought like that time was so weird.
Yeah,
I remember.
There was like shops closed, like regular, like normal shops closed, but anything like cafes and pubs and Warrigal, whatever, just had every loophole under the bridge.
They kind of did, but I remember going to one place where I went with a friend and he hadn't been vaccinated and he didn't have his ID or whatever, and they wouldn't let him sit inside it.
That's crazy.
No. I spent about 5 hours doctoring from scratch a perfect vaccine certificate on Photoshop.
Good.
I felt a bit dirty at it at first because in that mindset I was at the time. I was like, fuck the government, fuck everything. I'm not going to fucking bend over for this.
I'm still like that.
But then I wanted to go to the pub and I was like, all right, I'm going to lock in. And then the very next day you could just go on sacdan.com and they had
the template.
Yeah, templates, fake versions of the Medicare app, everything. And I was like, all right, I'll just use that then. Had the full hologram and everything.
The problem was with work, man.
Yeah.
They made us do it, we had no choice, man, and it got to the stage where they gave you a date.
You had to do it, boy.
You had to do it, and we had like 4 or 5 people who left work who didn't, but man, I couldn't afford to do it. I couldn't afford to do it, bro.
What did you spend your money on in lockdown? Because everyone had a new hobby.
Nah, I never really spent it.
Huh?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, it's just shards. Just the pingers.
No, I spent
New pill press.
I spent my money on just a lot of shopping, bro.
Yeah.
Just a lot of online shopping and.
Mine was Magic the Gathering cards. Because I was like, fuck, Pokemon's way too expensive. I'm getting into Magic.
Oh wow!
I've still got a whole cupboard full of them. I'll be worth something one day.
Surely.
Yeah.
I can't believe how compliant everyone was. That's the part that killed me. Like,
but what were you gonna do, Andy?
I still lived my life, bro. Remember there was footy on every day? Me and the boys would always pick a place. That's where we're going. We're going to this bloke's house tonight. Let's just go to his house. Watch the footy.
Yeah. I completely dropped out of footy during those years. Yeah.
Why?
Because I thought I'm a revolutionary. I've got harder battles to fight here. But the only time I pay attention is when
they gave us no choice, man.
Who were the two that got caught at the kebab joint up in Queensland?
Oh yeah, the footy. That's right.
Yeah.
It was actually sad.
It was so weird because I just remember driving to the boy. Like every single night there was a game on. So every single night.
No,
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Every single night there was a game on. So every single night we'd go to someone's house and man, it was just like the roads were dead. You're driving around at like 10 o'clock and it feels like it's 4 a.m.
Oh, it was the weirdest thing. Like if you think about it, it feels like a dream that we were locked in our houses and weren't allowed to go outside. You think we weren't allowed to go outside.
I've walked even the streets of Melbourne at 4 to 6 o'clock in the morning, no reason. I felt kind of the same.
Yeah. It was the weirdest thing, man. It was the weirdest thing. But yeah, unfortunately, I think it was.
Was that our true kangaroo?
Yeah.
Fucking know.
Yeah. We eat a lot of kangaroo.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We used to make
Really good.
dog food with it, and it fucking stunk the house out.
Nah. We cook it well. We buy it, so
Yeah.
it's good. And like kangaroos, I mean, they cull them, man. Like, there's that many of them.
Yeah.
They have to. I knew a guy. His job was to pop kangaroos up in Central Australia, and that was his job, man. He was a good shooter, man. Man, I've been shooting with him. He could hit like a deer, a shrivel right between the eyes, and like fucking 150 meters away.
You go shooting a lot, or your experience?
Oh, I used to go a lot more.
What was it actually like before they took everything away, like all the guns away?
Oh, you can still have guns. I mean,
to our generation, they make it out like it was the Wild West.
Nah, it was still the same thing. You just couldn't walk around with a gun, you know what I mean? It still was all those. All they did was, like, as far as I remember, they took away all the semi-automatics and all that. And then, to tell you the truth, I could still have them because if you just know a farmer, right? And he owns cattle, which I did. You're a prime producer, so they would allow you to have those sort of guns and that. But you don't really need those guns, you know what I mean? Like,
Says who?
For what, man?
I'm a big gun advocate.
Are you?
Yeah, I think everybody should have one. I think everybody should know how to use one safely.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't know. I'm either here or there. You have a gun, you don't have a gun, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there is an argument for when they did do that amnesty on guns. I mean, we haven't had any mass shootings anymore, you know what I mean? So there is an argument for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like any rights taken away from anyone. I'm not a fan of.
But it's
especially when they use a completely fake event to legitimise taking it away.
Port Arthur,
Fucking
Port Arthur,
Yeah. You reckon that was a fake event? You are a conspiracy.
I've been through every rabbit hole. I've come out the other end.
So what do you reckon that? What do you think happened there?
Port Arthur, Hoddle Street. Well, Hoddle Street was a different story, but Port Arthur was almost completely manufactured. Yeah.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
I'm not sure how much you can say.
Say whatever you want.
It's unfiltered, mate.
Yeah. Everything from, but
he's in jail, man. Like,
so the guy had an IQ of like 60. Like, you could have told him that he shot everyone with a box of Tim Tams.
So you don't reckon he didn't shoot everyone? What about all the witnesses?
Well, what did the witnesses say?
I don't know.
They just saw it.
I haven't looked into it, but what had they said?
Well, there weren't many from the actual cafe because not many walked out. And the only part, there was witnesses that saw Martin Bryant about 3.5 k's away from the scene, and then they found him in that house that they held him up for about a day and a half, and then just mysteriously caught on fire.
So why would they do this? To take away the guns?
Yeah. It's just a false flag event. Even like the reports of how many headshots were made in X amount of seconds, it was like, even if you had aimbot on in COD, you couldn't get like that. You're still going to have a few strays. And it was all like in the back, directly in the side of the head. And it's one guy who's never used the gun before. How many guys,
like 33 or 35, whatever it was?
Yeah. Then it turns out like his guns were actually ex-Tasmanian police guns. They'd ordered like this custom built, morgue truck that was arrived a week before and then never used after that.
Some people are agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Petrocans reckons Port Arthur, definitely.
Yeah, and then you watch his police interview, he's just like, I'll fucking say anything. Like, he's just laughing the whole time. Like, he's just like, or just like, no, of course I didn't do that. Then it's just like, and then he admits to doing exactly what the police said he did. And then he's just being fucked.
I've never looked into it, so I just assume it is what it is, and that's it.
I'll send you some good links, mate. Trusted sources.
I can see if I'm looking at conspiracy theories, I know who I'm going to turn to straight away. Now I'm going to go to Scotty, mate. With
but I'm like jaded. I'm like black pilled now because like now
everything.
I know really at the end of the day what's behind everything, and not many people like it when you say that.
Say it.
No, I can't.
Say it.
I can't.
What's it start with?
Starts with blues.
That's where it all starts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
look.
it all starts from somewhere, does it? Like the fucking.
Pretty much starts and ends. Yeah. But
I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
Even like
Why can't you say it?
I don't want you guys to lose your channel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what the one thing that you really can't touch, or if you do, it's if you're sucking them off.
Spell it on my phone. I'm curious.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I bet you.
I think it was absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Don't hit
agree.
send. Don't hit send.
Absolutely agree.
I can't see
Where my thumb is.
where your thumb is. Oh, at the bottom bit there.
See, but why can't we talk about it? This is the thing.
Look, we could talk about whatever we want, and you know, what's his name? Fucking cat poison, rat
Poison,
whatever.
shout out.
He'd be saying that. Oh, look at him. He doesn't want to talk
No,
about it. But
it's
it's not
not.
about me not talking about it. I wish I was Joe Rogan, where I had me
Yeah, but
own.
he says no. Did you watch his Trump interview?
No, I haven't, but I want to
Oh,
watch
Yeah,
it.
if you want to sleep on the plane, that'll help.
Is it
I
boring?
look, don't.
But that's me personally.
Don't bag
like,
Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan. You leave him alone. But what I'm saying is,
Well, Unfiltered.
he
you
doesn't
Rocco.
care. But he doesn't care because no one can censor him.
No, he permanently deleted like 20 odd of his episodes, switching from Spotify and then back to YouTube. There were certain political guests that he
But
had.
only because of YouTube.
Well, originally it was because of Spotify, and there was 250
But
million.
it's pretty close to the most uncensored. Like,
And then what does he talk about? Monkeys, weed.
No, he's had some. He's had some.
Nah.
He has had
pretty
some
good.
killer.
He's pretty good, man.
episodes.
He's pretty good. He does better than anyone else out there, I think. But
I like the range of people
what
he
I'm
has.
saying is, you keep fucking taking me right off track, mate. But what I'm saying
That was
is,
my mission. by
yeah,
the
that's
way,
your mission.
so-
I like it. No, what I'm saying is, I want to talk about everything.
Yeah.
But then they'll fucking take me off.
Yeah,
You know? And
that
I don't
one.
want that. So they'll say, oh, you think, but then what's the good of you taking me off? Then I can't talk about it. You know what I mean?
But like,
so in a way, we are censored.
There is a point where you do have to self-censor.
Yeah, but I don't
want
know
it to be
why
that way.
I don't know why we have to be censored about that.
I don't know.
There's
man.
6 million reasons under the sun.
I think that 6 million is highly inflated. By the way,
Could be 250,000
max,
reasons. Yeah.
max.
We're on thin ice.
But I just like for me, especially like where I come from, like why should I have to like? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I'm watching my people die every fucking week, every day. They're getting slaughtered. They're getting genocided by these people, but we're not allowed to say the word. Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy to me.
You can, but the problem is like,
Why can we talk about Christians? Why can we talk about Muslims? Why can we talk about Buddhists?
well, you can't. Well, Muslims is another one where you got to be real careful. But that's also much censored.
It's acceptable to hang shit on Muslims these days. Muslims, Arabs.
It's getting more. It's getting better.
In the last, definitely in the last 12 months, you can be as racist against blacks, Asians, Arabs as much as you want, because we're supposed to be turning against them because
Exactly.
Well, as soon as you turn them against them, you can say
because of
whatever
another
you want against
contrived
them.
Yeah.
event. From
So
a year
like,
ago.
it's like, all right, so put yourself in my position. I'm Middle Eastern, I'm Lebanese.
Of course.
And like, I'm watching, like, you know, people that look like me get killed daily, hourly, every minute. And it's just like, somehow they're still the victims. Somehow the world is like told that these other people are the victims in this. And it's like they're literally throwing rocks at them and they're throwing missiles back at them. And it's like you can't say and then they'll always go back to that one date, that October 7th. Bro, this has been for decades. They've been antagonizing for decades. Kids can't go to school without getting guns pointed at them, and it's just this crazy thing
It's
now.
like, we will not stop until we eradicate Hamas. Oh wait, Hezbollah! Like, we have to go after Lebanon now.
So
yeah,
I watched the video today of these settlers who were like shown
What?
settlers.
Oh, settlers,
Yeah. So they call them settlers, but they're not settlers. They're just fucking invaders who just are being shown parts of Gaza and parts of Lebanon that are no longer. And yeah, you can move in here now. This is yours now. right?
They've raised all the infrastructure, so there's nothing to come back in with.
Bro, for me,
finally, that's what the sick thing they say. They say we can finally get our beachfront property.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So it's been taken away from these people.
Of course it has. Yeah.
And these people have just moved in.
Yep. And there's nothing that anyone can do about it because they've got backing from the US. Ultimately.
Now, can I say, is that the same what the English did here?
Absolutely not.
It's different.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday to Captain Cook.
Was it
yesterday? Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
There you go,
Happy birthday, James.
Goated circumnavigator.
Why is that different?
Because there was already Palestine, and then after
There was already. I'm just going to be devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm not here or there about this. I'm asking the question, right? So don't think I'm anti.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like, as soon as you said it,
Yeah.
I thought to myself, is that the same? Like, they were already here, weren't they?
It's a massive. You already had a place that had been settled, like Palestine, that area for at least 6,000 years, Rocco.
Well,
but it's a very specific area, and after World War II, the Jewish people said, well, we need to return to our homeland so this never happens again. And because it was a British colony at the time, the Brits were basically blackmailed into giving them their land. And then it was about 1948 was when the Nakba began, which is like a giant massacre of the native Palestinians. Nearly half of Jordan's population, I believe, are Palestinian refugees. This is generations on. And then that slither, that's all they wanted, has expanded and expanded and expanded. It's got everything to do with basically their apocalyptic cult religion. They're obsessed with trying to establish the third temple and, I don't know, spawn the Antichrist. It goes deep. But really, it's just the blackmail of the West into.
But it wasn't the same
into allowing
when they came here.
Slaughter. Oh, there was
when they came here, wasn't it the same thing?
There was land here.
Yeah.
Really, nothing else. There was not.
But it doesn't matter.
Terra Nullius.
What's that? Sorry?
Terra Nullius.
I know what that means.
That was like the Marbo.
You've got to educate me here, man.
This is like all your growing up, man.
Nah, man. I'm too busy smoking bongs, man. Kind of like at those days.
So was I.
Yeah, I reckon, but you learn a lot of these things later on in your life.
So
I reckon when you stop drinking, you learn a lot of these.
There's a difference between. I remembered a lot more.
Yeah.
There's a difference between settling and colonisation, and yes, we did have colonies, but we were settling the land. This was just straight up robbery. Yeah, and paid for.
But wasn't that robbery?
No.
In a way, because really they took it all away from them.
Oh, there was just plenty of open land. We just set up where it was free. It's not like we didn't.
Did we? You're saying that? Did we?
Yeah, I mean, we were conquerors.
But they come and they, as far as I know, and I don't know much. They come and they took over. They slaughtered. They took over.
No. It's a bit outrageous because there was no genuine massacres. There was no intent to slaughter the entire indigenous population.
If they fought back, I reckon there would have been.
Well, this is a fair cop, isn't it? But it's also we landed in Botany Bay and we're like, guys, we're just going to have the bay. That's all we want, and then slowly edge our way out and mowing everything down our way, and then blaming the Aboriginals.
Did they do that?
There. Nah.
What did they do?
Oh, we just explored and settled, and sent some of their finest men over here who became Australian. In 200 years, we created the greatest nation on earth.
I agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree. I'm just wondering, what about the Americans and with the Indians and
that was actual war. That was war. It was brutal for both ends, and it went for.
And I've watched Yellowstone, and I love. That's another great series.
I watched the first episode of Yellowstone, and I was like, I'll get around to it.
Mate, it gets good. It gets really good.
But yeah,
watch the original 1889. The original Yellowstone, and that's when they settled in and they come across. They had to bring all the Europeans over.
Yeah, the American Indian Wars, that was almost 400 years of non-stop slaughter.
Yeah.
And the Native Americans were keeping up with them, but then they've been at non-stop war for at most 6,000 years.
At most 50,000 years.
Yeah, I don't know. From my point of view,
you absolutely should be able to.
Before you go on, what is that?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's not. It's not Israeli. they can fucking try.
What is it? Because your mum made it again.
This is a Middle Eastern sweet.
Yep.
It's called namura. So namura. So it's a semolina cake.
I like it.
Right. So it's quite sweet.
It is. I can see.
Oh, it's gooey.
Right.
I can see.
Has it got honey in it? Or?
No, it's I think it's rose water or something like that.
Look, I'm just a country bumpkin, mate. So I'm getting an education here. I'm eating kangaroo. I'm eating rose water. it's dense.
Yeah, it's dense as and shout out my mum who made this today. I told her last minute, I'm like, Mum, I need something for the show tonight. She's like, yeah, what do you want?
That's beautiful.
She's like, she was gonna cook like a whole meal. I was like, nah, man, just
legit tastes like roses.
Yeah, so shout out Rubes, my mum. Thank you.
Thank you again. Last week and this week.
What did you have last week? I didn't watch.
We had it's like a raw meat dish. Like spiced. Had some tabbouleh, we had some hummus, some veggies on the side. Yeah, it was a bit of a spread.
A full meal.
It's a massive health kick thing at the moment, raw meat. Or a high meat. So it's fermented and mouldy and yeah.
That was really good because Italians make also, I forget what it's called, there's a raw meat where they slice it really thin and we eat it, but that was like a mince meat. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And my missus, with some of the flavours, and my missus got a massive palate. Like she knows her cooking, and she said, this is good, you know. And I said, yeah. I said, Andy's mum, and she goes, no way. She goes, I thought this was bought. And I go, no, man. This is how good is this?
That's like basic peasant food.
We said this before. Yeah. The great food is peasant food because they're very simple.
Exactly.
You know, you get what you got. You're in the middle of a war, right? It's whatever you got, and you try to make the best of it.
That's right, man. That's right. Yeah, I love this. This is one of my favourite sweets, if not my absolute favourite.
But what we were saying, right, this is an interesting topic, you know, because at the end of the day, right or wrong, and we don't really know. Like, you've got your theories, and maybe there's some truth to it, and maybe there isn't. We don't really know the whole truth. But the problem is with the censoring, as much as you say, oh no, I won't be censored in that, you are in many aspects of your life. Like, not only this show, at work. Like you got a business. You can't go around doing that, because I'm telling you, things will happen. You know what I mean? Like, you won't. You work. What do you do?
Work in IT.
So is there any way that can affect you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and me
anywhere. It's the biggest roadblock in your career.
And I'm the same now with like where I work. You know what I mean? I can't walk around saying. I'm telling you, they'll get rid of you straight away.
You're like, oh, Manny, you'll never guess what I read last night.
Actually, he was in the chat. So Manny, how are you, Manny?
I miss that guy.
Yeah. He's good. He'll be back. So we are censored in many aspects of our life. You can't walk down the street doing some, you work, the show, you know what I mean? So, but what do you do about it?
Well, when it comes to the biggest cry bullies in the world, that could lead us into World War III, and we just got to cop it.
Yeah,
especially in the West, we have certain values when it comes to freedom of speech
But have we got freedom of speech?
Well, we like to think that we do. It's not a reality, but at least
do they make you believe you got freedom of speech, and do they make you believe that you're actually free?
Well, that's the whole. You'll know until you know you've crossed the line. You're a good knock on the head for it. So
my thing is like, why do we have to pretend? Like, and again, like I hate like being the victim in this thing, right? But you've got children dying daily, and it's on camera. Like, it's on. There's HD, 4K.
Yeah, you can.
It's this genocide is being televised.
Yeah.
Right, and if it's not on Channel 7 and all that, I'll tell you what, it's on Al Jazeera, who the Israeli government has now banned. It's in every single Middle Eastern person's WhatsApp, and it's in every Middle Eastern person's family phones. Right, we're watching, And like, I've got friends who are Palestinian who probably don't have any family left, you know? And again, they keep going back to October 7, but you know, it spans decades before that, right? And you can't bully someone without one day copping a hit back. And
Makes you get pushed back, yeah.
And like, there's this thing, right, where like, whenever someone goes on television and they're like, do you condemn Hamas? Do you condemn Hamas? And it's like, being someone who's Middle Eastern, how could you ever condemn someone resisting genocide? Like, what side of history are you actually taking, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but for me, it's a non-negotiable thing. Like I'm on the side of the resistance forever. Like, you know, I don't want my friends' families dying. I don't want my family dying. I don't want, like, so right or wrong, and I truly believe that I'm in the right here. It's, for me, it's always fuck Israel. Like, for me, it's fuck Israel till I die. And there's nothing that anyone could ever tell me otherwise. Like, and I don't care who gets offended by this, by the way. Like, I actually don't care. And I apologise if this is putting you into like
I don't know what's it going to do,
but like,
before we end this, we will say that we're here on the Jumper Punch to support Hamas and Hezbollah.
But like, I can't sit here and pretend like we can't talk about this. Like, there's this little thing that you just can't talk about, and you got to tiptoe around it.
Yeah.
We don't tiptoe around Christianity. We don't tiptoe around Islam. We don't tiptoe around anything except for Israelis.
At the moment, yeah.
Always. It's always been a taboo topic in the West because they've just got this stronghold on Western governments. A prime example of the stronghold they have, our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, 10, 15 years ago, was at a pro-Palestine rally, chanting free Palestine, chanting, you know, everything. Super anti-Israel's occupation. And now he's telling me that Israel's got a right to defend itself and that, you know...
Well, it's where the wind blows with him, but...
What was that?
It's where the wind blows.
Yeah. Absolutely. But, like, it just shows you that, like, you know, where the influence comes from, you know? And, like, you just got to look at the top of the chain and who makes the laws, who makes the rules, who allows this, who allows that. And there's just so much influence at the top, which is really unfair for those being murdered by the Israelis constantly. You know, we celebrate, not even celebrate, but we kind of took pride in fighting back when Iran fought back, you know, a few weeks ago. We took pride in that because all we've seen was you know, Israeli missiles and all these targeted attacks at buildings that, bro, you're not targeting a person. All they're doing is they're attacking hospitals, they're attacking schools, they're attacking all these places and saying, oh, but Hamas is hiding under it, and they're hiding here and they're hiding there.
And then they, like, as far as I know, then they, you know, they doctor the numbers again and saying, like, only so many people died, or, you know.
Oh, the best part was all the R's that happened October 7. They said, oh, you know, there was babies that were harmed and all this. And that, you know, there's all this footage, and all these people came out and said they saw the footage, and then Israeli's own government came out and said, oh no, there was no footage of that. So all these people in the media who said they saw this footage are liars. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff never happened, but they're just weaponizing the media. They're weaponizing.
Or even from that day, you have all this footage, all these photos of, like, burnt out, blown up cars, and like these guys came over on like paragliders and golf carts and shit. But I saw a lot of fucking Israeli helicopters flying around and shit. And
exactly. I think that was just an excuse for them to say, you know what, we're just going to wipe them out. And, you know, unfortunately,
it's all to provocate Iran.
So
because they've knocked out Iraq and Libya, and the last one on the list
is Iran. So yeah, I mean, I know it's a touchy subject for a lot of people, but for me, it's not touchy.
Yeah, you should be able to express yourself.
Absolutely.
The whole point about this, no matter what we want to talk about, the problem is you should be able to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly right.
with freedom and try to find answers, at least within yourself, you know. But like you said, man, we get censored in a lot of this stuff one way or another. And then you'll get criticised for saying these things.
Bring it on. I mean? 18 Devon Road, Pascoval. Come see me.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Like, you'll get criticised, like, and then where is the freedom of speech? You know what I mean?
With freedom of speech, there's also no freedom from consequences.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all these rhetorical little things. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
remember, it's the old, think what you want, as long as you think like us.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
That's the world we live in at the moment.
Oh, do you reckon at the moment, or really it's been all, if it's not one thing, it's another? You know what I mean? It's always been like that. Just, I think now with social media, it's just got a lot bigger. But don't you reckon it's always been like that?
Probably.
Yeah.
I, from my experience, I feel like it's always been like that. But I listen to, people who've been around a bit longer than me. They tell me how good the old days were. You were allowed to do this. You were allowed to say that. You were, but I guess the consequences weren't that great because you weren't saying it on such a public platform.
And that whole thing is, that's what I'm saying, like, even in my days, in the 80s and that, I mean, what's social media?
Yeah.
Like, the only way you could ever be heard if somehow you got onto the news or something, but you couldn't come on YouTube and just anyone have whatever they say. That's what I think now it seems like we're censored more.
Yeah.
But I think we've always been in that situation, just that now that it's more, like it's expanded, that social media. Yeah.
No such place as Palestine, says Rat Poison. I'll tell you what, Rat Poison, maybe take some of your name and just end yourself, mate, because that's fucked up. I don't know.
I saw that.
I just think that's...
no, it's good. I want everyone having their say here. It's good. It's interesting. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much about it. I'm one of those guys who kind of like, I don't know much about it. I just keep out of it. You know what I mean? I don't want to. And until you talk about it, I don't really know much about it. Is that wrong? Is that, I don't know. I don't know.
If I'm not listening to Carlton content, it's all politics.
No, I listen to other stuff, but it's again like and maybe it's too complicated for me to like get involved in it. Like, so I don't.
It's a large burden to carry. It's an ultimate red pill.
Yeah. So that's.
It's a tough one.
But Trump was looking good on the podcast. He was looking fresh.
I like Trump. I like him that he's outspoken and all that, and I don't know I don't really care if he's good or bad for America. Like, I don't really care. I don't really care about American politics. I don't even care about our politics. All I know is Cooter's going to be Lord Mayor, and he doesn't know shit about it.
They're not even mentioning him anymore. It's really just down to the last two, and
I didn't even know what's happening.
The incumbent's basically going to walk away with it.
So who's the incumbent? What does that mean?
I know. The guy who's already Lord Mayor.
There you go. Fucking, I might need Scotty Moore here because he teaches me words. I don't know, mate. So he's completely out, is he?
Pretty much. I mean, what hope did he really have?
I don't believe he had any hope because he, as much as he's a good bloke and was a great footballer, right? Seriously, why are you getting involved in this? And you were pushed in there.
There's always a token footy-related person, and it was just his turn.
Yeah. You know what I hated? And I was saying this today, and I would have loved for him to come up to me in the city because I'm always in the city. He never came up to me. But as I'm drinking my free coffee, I would have just asked about, as I was stepping over the homeless people, saying, what are we going to do about these people here, with these things that are sleeping in every corner? But that's at the point. What was shitting me was every day you see like some sort of post from him, James Hurd, like I back him. What do you know, mate? Go back to your fucking Essendon, wherever you live, right? Then he gets someone like Brendan Frivola. Don't get me wrong. Shut the fuck up. Why are you endorsing him? I would love to question him and go, tell me why you're endorsing him. Like, what are the reasons that he's going to be a good Lord Mayor? Tell me. Well, what are the reasons?
Because my name's Anthony Cooter.
And this is the whole fact, and not that I'm trying to be against it, and this is what I hate, and then people will go, oh, nothing gets done because you vote people like him in there. You know what I mean? But and again, I don't know nothing about politics. Like, I just put in my fucking vote for this.
Yeah,
week.
so you guys all had council elections as well. Yeah, I opened mine.
I didn't know. Let me be
I
honest.
had 8 people. I just put the 2 blokes' names up the top, and then
You know what I did? I went from bottom to top.
yeah.
I think there was 6 or 8, whatever. I just went from bottom to top.
I'll just chuck mine empty. I don't care.
I don't care, as long as you fill it out. But the whole thing was, so you had to do it, and most of the times we don't know what's going on, but we'll complain like fuck when we don't get our way, you know.
Yeah, it's probably a bit more serious up here, but even if you're the mayor of Warragul, it's a extra 50 grand a year, but it's still a part-time position. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's been mayor for the last 3 or 4 cycles. You know, they've got their own companies, their own full-time shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They just show up for the photo op and that's it. But
Yeah, it's a, I don't know, the concept of mayor is so weird to me.
yeah,
Mayor is just a title.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
they've
a
just
title.
made it like sound important.
Shires
yeah.
and local government's just irrelevant. Like, they're not required to be there. They can be dissolved at any point, and you just have the state government take over that responsibility. But then it's like,
you know-
fuck up. Do you really want the state government? Yeah.
But you know, like, what spun me out with that whole thing with Kuda was the coffees. I know
Yeah.
it's bullshit, but like to you know, trick you, or, you know, like, hey mate, have a coffee.
Yeah.
That's how easy it is.
But-
But some people will be like, yeah, sweet.
And you're thinking to yourself, really?
But then another bloke's idea of free coffee is we're going to have a personalised tribute to every great Victorian athlete from Flinders Street Station to the MCG.
Yeah.
And then the other,
Yeah, I get
whatever
what
the
you
fuck her
mean.
name
I get
was,
what you
Sally
mean.
Cap, she was like, I'm going to put a flying fox over the Yarra.
Yeah,
Like, they
that's
just
right.
pull
So
this-
everyone's got their own coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one, you know, like, just to and
It's really
but
just a-
by the sounds of it, like,
It's just the guys.
the vote. But by the sounds of the voters have actually voted properly and said, like, you know what? No, we want.
Well, thank God Kuda's not mayor. Like, because like,
It'd be a weird thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like, he's great at many things. I don't think he's a politician.
Could you imagine before every Carlton home game, after they count down all the players, and then they say, and our captain Patrick Cripps, and everyone please stand for the Lord Mayor, Kuda Feeties.
I mean, it's Carlton. As
That would
Carlton
be sick.
supporters,
It would be sickening.
it'll be sick.
Just
It'll be
like,
sick.
you give it to all the
Sickening,
Collingwood supporters.
sickening.
No, but we're going to get all the Collingwood supporters. At least we've got the Lord Mayor, you loser.
It's crazy that he even ran. Like, honestly,
He gets to turn the lights off when Collingwood have their home game.
Yeah. He wasn't going to do nothing, man. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's weird. You know me, like, with politics,
yeah,
I'm not very well versed
Not
in
big,
it.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't really, because to me, like, I'm a simpleton, right? And I think like this, right? It's all the same shit. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, man, like, you know, honestly, as a working class man with a family and a mortgage, and just trying to get through the next 30 years before I die, and let's be serious, right? I haven't got much. What have I got? If I live to 85, I'm fucking lucky. So I've got, what, 28, 29 years? Let's be serious, right? So what am I doing trying to save the world? Like, who gives a fuck who's in charge? At the end of the day, I'm still going to be paying my taxes. I've got bills to pay, mate. I can't worry about these things, you know? So
you have to worry about them though.
I know, but you can't in a way, because I've got a lot, and this is the problem with most people. They've got a life to lead. So while you go, oh, you got to worry about that, and I don't believe it. You know, the next bloke, he's worried about feeding his kids.
Yeah, I get that.
So
but
he's got that to worry about, you know,
Yeah.
and that comes first, you know. So all these, you know, like, people have got lives to lead. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, for me, it feels like, just as a working class, middle class person, right? I pay for everything,
Yep, absolutely.
regardless of what. Like, the poor people don't pay for anything. The rich people don't pay for anything. We pay for everything. Let's be serious, right?
Absolutely.
Regardless of who's in and what policy you bring in, the way I look at it is, it's not going to change for me so much that's going to make a difference to my life.
Would you not be fussed if they took away your vote then?
If they took it away,
Yeah.
but that's more of a human right, you know, like, we should.
It's a privilege.
yeah, all right, privilege. Yeah, would I be fussed?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter anyway.
No, I wouldn't want it to be taken away, because then, just say there's I don't know, just say something I've got to vote for that's really going to impact our life. Like, imagine they do the COVID-19 again or something, you know, or whatever.
Because we all voted on that.
Yeah, well, that's right. But you know what I mean? Imagine there was something where we could vote for and I wanted to get involved. But to tell you the truth, most elections, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a vote for. I don't really like.
Has much really changed? It would make a difference if it was.
I don't think much has changed for me, personally, over the last 30, 40 years.
The situation that we're in today here in Australia would have been that way regardless.
That's the way I feel. I feel that regardless.
So? Yeah, especially when it comes to things like immigration and the economy, like.
Don't you think it's like, to me, like, don't you think it's just one pot of minestra?
Yeah, I think.
And all they're doing is, you want to stir, now I'll stir it, you know, like.
So what I think, I think the two-party system doesn't work, right? I think the two-party system is outdated, and I think there needs to be an upheaval. But the difference between the two parties, the Liberal and Labor, is that Liberal will tell you, we don't care about you. We care about this. We don't care about you. We don't care about the people. That's the thing. Liberals are known to be not for the people.
But do you think if...
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Labor tells you they're for the people, but their actions tell you they're not.
So does it really change for you?
No, but I'd rather the person tell me what it is to my face than the person stabbing me behind the back. I used to be like, and I'll openly talk about it, I was a union guy, right? Staunch Labor. Now,
people believe we have Freemasons everywhere. Like, everyone's going socialist in Australia. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I just think, like, I don't know, I just think with everything happening, it's like, I know personally it's going to take something drastic for me to go back to Labor, right? Not saying I'm Liberal, but Labor's definitely lost my vote, just through lies, just through the way state government handled the COVID situation. Dan Andrews to me is Satan personified. So anybody associated to him.
But does that mean the next Labor person, like now, because of Dan Andrews,
they have to prove to me otherwise?
Yeah.
Right? They got to prove to otherwise you're cut from the same cloth. Right? You're in the same schooling, same school of thought, all that. And I'm not saying that like...
So if wasn't Dan Andrews and there was whoever was the opposition at the time, would the COVID been any different, you think?
I don't know.
It wouldn't have been as fucked in Victoria. Probably would have been on the same level as New South Wales.
Reckon,
eventually got fucked.
Yeah, I think it would have been closer to New South Wales. But I think the way it was handled here was so bad. A lot more bad than good came from it.
Yeah.
You just got to look at kids. Look at the way they've developed through those years.
Oh, it's definitely it was definitely wrong.
And I didn't like seeing his smug face on my TV
screen. A
screen.
statue of him.
Is that
real?
You.
It's something Jeff Kennett brought in that after you served a certain amount of days in the top job, you get a bronze statue.
I'll tell you now,
because of that,
the amount of security that we're going to have to pay for,
and this is the thing, man.
Right, to make sure that head stays on its shoulder.
When I walk to the G, I go past Parliament Gardens and they've got the statue for the Chinese guy that was the Lord Mayor, and I'm like, oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's I don't know. Like, personally, I'll never vote Labor again. As a small business owner, I'll definitely never vote Labor again.
Definitely for business. I've always heard that the Liberal,
Yeah, Liberals tend to help small business a bit more. But who knows? Yeah, the world's changed since COVID, right?
I don't know, man.
So who knows?
Do you reckon it really is going to make a difference who's in 20 years' time in your life?
It has to. It has to. And this is why I agree that it probably won't, but it has to. If we're not progressing in 20 years,
I don't think it's going to change for me.
Yeah, see, and if it doesn't,
how's it going to get better for me?
Well, tax cuts. They're all right. You got tax cuts, better housing. But it's at this point. How old are you?
54 this year.
All right. So with all due respect, it stops being about you.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It starts to become about the next generation coming up.
Well, will it help them out? Will they get better?
So we need a government that's going to come in and create a better housing environment. A government that's going to come in and make groceries affordable again. Just day-to-day stuff. Make things affordable. Make life livable again.
But do you reckon it'll ever, like, to me, they're like the mafia, right? They need to get so much money out of the people.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, yeah, you get your tax break, but they're going to get
They'll from another way.
Yeah, so someone else is getting screwed here, you know?
Well, hopefully, and
it's like the...
It's the people with enough.
But they will never get screwed.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one, man.
It is.
The most important issue above all is immigration.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, 1.2 million migrants have entered Australia. Doesn't matter how cheap your tax gets. If you end up having 5 million extra people in your country, doesn't fucking matter. They're still getting their bag.
Of course.
So with the immigration, right, how many should we be getting in?
0. Should be a moratorium. A complete ban on immigration for the foreseeable future. Until at least
what do you mean, no people? Nobody.
At least until we can have a more independent economy, we're able to rebuild our manufacturing, and the native Australians are able to, be the beneficiaries of that. If we go into, more rare earth mining, we're actually able to hold on to our gas for once and actually be an independent and stable nation. We could be the richest country in the world.
We should be the
richest country in the world. As long as there's certain taps you have to turn off.
There should be, don't you think that there should be some sort of, like, you can't have 0.
Not a permanent moratorium. Like, I remember in 15 to 16 when the first Trump election cycle was going around, because immigration was one of the biggest things during them.
Yes.
And they always praised Australia's visa system, because the idea that they had is that we have the strictest H-1B visa program going around. We only bring in doctors, highly skilled engineers and all that. We all knew that wasn't the truth, and it's especially not the case now. It should be, if we were only getting, top of the top engineers, doctors, and particularly people that can work in the energy sector, because, well, as much as I am an AI doubter, what AI really is will require about 3 times the amount of energy that we're using currently, and we need to be able to invest, run and maintain those forms of energy going into the future. Which we can provide independently ourselves. But if we're taking on, the world's poorest at an infinite grade, or at least from 2 countries, we'll never be able to stand on our own 2 feet, because we'll just be getting suffocated under everything else, and we're going to lose everything from our identity to our jobs and our children's futures. But there's no election where they'll say, we're going to increase migration by 300%. Which is what has happened in the last, since the current Labor government's come in. And what the Liberals say, we'll cut it by 25. You're still sitting at 275%. And at least, I know, from the outside looking in, from where everybody's coming in, I can't recognise fucking Melbourne, and I don't live here. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't mind that.
It's not the same type of immigration that we've had, from post World War II up until the 90s.
Yeah.
This is a completely different thing.
It is a different kind of immigration, which is worrying, right? And any kind of mass kind of import, anything, people, product, anything, is to be really carefully, it should be carefully kind of introduced. It shouldn't just be like, just come over.
Yeah, Australia has 1/3 of the world's student visa population.
That's crazy.
Then it goes the US and the UK. The US has a population of 375 million.
Yeah.
Now we're up to 27 million after the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But per capita, we're getting.
I know how hard it is to get someone over here on visa. Trust me. But Petra Khan says 80,000 Australians leave Australia every year. Listen to these stats, right? Tell me what you say about this. About 180 die every year, and about 280 births each year. So that probably evens it out.
Almost. The birth rate is below replacement.
Yeah.
But then that's just...
So that's match, and then on top of that, we're getting the...
You're getting 1.2 million Indians to replace that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's
Yeah, you can cut taxes as much as you want, but that is what's going to kill a country is completely unrestricted, infinite immigration.
Yeah, I'd like. Yeah, if you're capping it, or you're, a bit more careful of the amount of people you let in, I think that's highly important too. But you're like, I don't know. I find it weird how it's easier to come in from certain countries than others. Like you said, that you got immigrants coming from India, immigrants coming from
My mate's been trying to get his fiancée from Turkey into Australia for the last 2 years, and she's an immigration lawyer.
Fuck.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy.
It's tough, man. I like my girlfriend's Thai. Like I've been with her for 8 years, but and she's been here a while. But it took like 3 years for her to get a permanent.
Well,
3 years of hard work. Hard work, man.
That's crazy.
Like it's tough. It's tough. I don't know how tough it is. Like, was it tougher for me than other people? Like, are other people just walking in? You could have just got
her to sign up for a Cert 3 in childcare.
And this is what I was saying. There's certain people who are just walking in, no drama, and then
there are so many loopholes. There are so many loopholes.
There's like fake, like shell colleges and that.
Yeah. There's like...
They're just going to work.
Yeah.
And the problem is they're just going to work. And like a lot of them, I know people that have got visas, got study visas, and then not study, just work the whole time, and then working for cash.
Yeah.
For minimum wage, and then taking jobs away from other people, I suppose. I mean, there's all that kind of argument too, I suppose.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a bit more tolerant of immigration. Coming from like an immigrant family.
Yeah.
It's funny that we...
But I totally understand. Like, it's not like I'm like against what you're saying, like, because like the facts are there, the statistics are there. But like, I've seen like people coming from like my side of the world, where they've struggled to get in, like as refugees, as and then you got these people who are coming from other parts of the world, and they're just like straight into the workforce.
Yeah,
which is like kind of unfair.
Yeah, as an Australian, like this is the only country I have.
Yeah,
and like as much as like you and your family were born here and live here and that. There's a lot of other different demographics where, well, this place goes to shit, they can just go home.
Yeah.
This is all I've got. So I want everything for, my family, my future family that you can possibly get. You can still have a reasonable amount of things like that.
Well, give it 6 months, I won't have a home to go back to if Israel gets its way.
Oh, you might have a nice beachfront property.
That's it.
Yeah, but that's something that'll never be, on the ballot, so to say. So
no, it'll never be.
Yeah,
if
you want to, not saying nobody ever just kicks back and says, I really want to get into politics, or
it's you should get into politics. You've got a great understanding.
Have you ever thought about
it? Daydreamed about it, but it's too much of a pain in the neck, I reckon.
Well, you have to do it. By the sounds of it, there's a lot of work initially just to get in, and then. Like you'd have to do all that, some people all the dirty work at the start.
Well, it's really who you know, the endorsement,
but do you think
and it's just a nice little photo shoot and a pre-written bio. That's really all you need, especially from the council level, and then you just work your way up from there.
But do you think that, so you sound like you've got all the right intentions, right? But do you think that it happens to everybody where they get into politics all with the right intentions and they get sucked into the system?
Absolutely.
And then you can't do nothing about it anymore.
Well, you see...
the best example was from Midnight Oil.
Garrett. Yeah.
He came in, you heard his songs, he came in, and then by the end of it, he was worse than everyone else, kind of, he tried.
Because he was Labor, and one of the rules is Labor is that you have to vote uniformly. If you ever cross the bench, you're out permanently.
Yeah.
So do you think that would happen to you?
Well, ideally you'd run as independent, but then it's like one man cannot change the entire thing.
This is why I say the two-party system needs to go.
Yeah,
it's just not sustainable.
The only thing you can do
in states like Germany, they like have to form coalition out of like 50 different parties.
Yeah,
and that's a nightmare. But
the best you could do is, as far as I know, is as an independent is get enough votes where you get the support of Labor or something, and they can help you get some of your policies through something like that.
The best thing you can do as an independent is hold in long enough to get your pension and fuck off.
Yeah.
But really, like, Australian politics, it's the only way that you can really, like, socially climb. It's the only way you can go from, like, lower middle class to upper class, and it's really just a resume patter. If you're in there long enough, you get to know the right people. The second you step out that door, you're walking into a much better, comfier, easier job. Yeah. Which really isn't the intention, but, you know.
I think that's what happens at the end. It sounds like that's what happens at the end. As I said, they all start with the right intention, and then...
Do they, though?
Oh, not all, but I reckon a lot of people do. I think a lot of, when you're young, you start that you want to change the world.
Yeah.
It's the real sickos like Dan Andrews, where it was like, went from young Labor, politics at school. I mean, Albanese was the same, and it's just sucking and fucking until you do get to where you want. They probably
had like an idea, a plan of how they wanted to get there.
Willingly to become part of the machine.
It just seems like, a lot of these local councils, you see them, they're working hard, they've got the right intention, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then it just...
ours is a nightmare. Like, I've got no idea what intention they could possibly have, but...
It's such a weird... I don't know, man. Politics, like, I love politics. It's one of my... I said this, one of my favourite sports in the world. But I find... If you want to become like a dead set politician, and you've got goals to be the top guy, something's got to be wrong with you. You know what I mean? From a young age. If that's your goal from a young age, right?
So what's that about, power?
It's definitely like power. It's a power thing. Has to be. Because you know that it's a dirty game.
And you know you're not going to really change anything.
And you know that you're going to have to do a lot of dirty things. So it's like...
Imagine the things they know.
Mafia, man. Oh, yeah.
Like, I always think, the president. Imagine the things that they know what's going on. Like, you probably want to know everything, but does the average person really want to know all these things? Like,
I don't think we can handle it.
I don't think we can handle it either. If we knew what really was going on,
we got locked down for a month, and we ran out of toilet paper. People lost their minds at that. Imagine they found out that half the things that we're seeing on TV
there'll be murder
are actual lies, and that this is the actual truth.
There'll be murder.
Absolutely, there would be. People would lose their minds.
Yep.
It'll be the Purge.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The Purge. That's a good fucking movie.
Great movie.
Yeah. What do you reckon would be more groundbreaking amongst the general population? Say you're the president, you can reveal. Basically, Area 52 or aliens or UFOs. What's to go behind that, or who shot JFK? What do you think would have the larger ramifications?
That's a good fucking question.
JFK,
because I know who done it.
Of course.
Yeah.
They're not going to flat out just say that UFOs are just fucking planes.
What would be the biggest? I mean, JFK. I mean, we
already.
I think that a lot of people already suspect that it wasn't legit, fucking thing. So that with aliens, I mean, if there was an alien and you found out, that they're holding this and they do an interview with him and that.
Could you imagine?
But that'll change a lot. Religion too, you know what I mean? That'll change a lot of the world.
It'll be a part of God's plan, Rocco.
Well, that's the problem. The gap, the God of the gaps. You just fit him into any position you want. So it all suits you just perfectly.
Yeah.
You can fit him in. It's funny how God can fit in any position. But if you found out fucking hell, found out that there was. We all kind of suspected. We all think there's aliens somewhere out there, maybe.
What's the first thing that you would ask an alien? How do you actually fly to the moon?
Well, how do you
actually pull that off?
How do you get here?
I'd be like, what do you think of us?
I think they think of us we think of ants.
Yeah, maybe.
We're just you're interesting, but yeah, I'm done now.
But see, I think we might be. If aliens do exist, maybe we're giving them too much credit, right? And we're thinking that they're these super species that know everything.
Well, if they've got here, first of all, they've got to be advanced.
But maybe they're just advanced at fucking creating a spaceship.
Well, if you advance a career in a spaceship,
yeah, but
you're
that's
pretty
it.
much
What if they're
advanced.
dumb as shit? Like, what if, you know...
But in what? Like if they're that advanced, that means they're advanced in a lot of the...
Well, maybe they don't need the things that we need to survive, right?
But this is what I think, that the AI and the robots and all that will be the future. Like, because I don't think it'll be a meat and bones kind of thing, man. I think it's more...
I think aliens already walk amongst us. I think they do, man. I think they're the talented people. I think they're in athletes. I think they're a bit different. And I think that's like, the word aliens, right, is like...
Well, aliens just mean, you know, like...
something foreign.
Yeah, foreign, exactly right.
So, I don't know, man. It's a fucking weird one, aliens. I love that we always end up on aliens.
Well, aliens is a spinner, man, because we just don't know, but like it is a... And then you get all those conspiracy theories about aliens and Area fucking 50... It's a Area 52? Yeah. You get all those... And then you get these people like Bob Lazar come out and he...
Yeah, he spun me out for a while, but then I'm just like, yeah, it's just too good of a story.
Yeah, it is too good, but he's never changed. Like, it's weird, like his story is so precise, and then when he came up with that element that he found, and then they discovered it years later, you know, so it's a bit weird that he knew about it like years, but you know, like I don't know, but you know, like I don't dismiss it as much as I used to. Like, you go, nah, you're a fucking nutcase, you know.
Yeah.
I don't dismiss it. I actually think, like, to tell you the truth, like, I know you say about, like, 6,000 years, whatever, but to me, like, we think we are the ultimate species. Like, we've reached this pinnacle and we are the smart. I think no. I think there was species that were, like, as smart or smarter than us, and then there was some sort of disaster, you know, like they say, so
we've like relearnt everything.
That to restart again.
Yeah. Well, they went back into the hollow earth.
Like what? Because you think about it and you go, nah, but there would be evidence. And I've seen these fucking docos, right, where over millions of years, right, there'd be no evidence of us here. If we just disappeared, like everything would go. Like you think, oh, what about steel? Everything would disappear in 10 million years time if we didn't exist. Like if we just went off, all the animals just disappeared in 10 million years time, aliens come down, there'll be no evidence that we were ever here. None. Everything would...
We should rip out a bong right now. I don't know. I feel like this is bong conversation.
It is bong conversation.
Yeah, well, like, yeah.
What would remain? Nothing.
God.
No.
God.
We haven't even made it to 10,000 yet.
No,
so
if you start 10 million years ago, if you 10 million years from now, if you start again, religion would be different, but science would stay the same.
No, I think science would be different.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah,
science
people would be dumb,
man.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be different.
Of course it would.
No, it wouldn't.
Because there'd be nothing. There'd be nothing. Yeah, but then someone would have to find gravity.
No, you don't find gravity.
Yeah, but somebody would have to like discover, like, you know what I mean?
All you do is you work
the math behind it. That's what I mean. But the math could be different.
But it wouldn't be different.
But in 10 million years.
No, but it wouldn't be different because it's always there.
So evolution exists with everything except science.
No, science does evolve. Like,
so
it always gets
evolve
better.
In 10 million?
Yeah, but I mean, the basics would always be the same. Like the sun always operates the same. Photons from the sun always act the same. Planets will always go around. The planets will always go around the sun. Like that does not change.
So if something was to happen here, right, to wipe us all out.
Yes.
Who's to say that it wouldn't wipe out something so important in our solar system that it would change? It was like something massive would have to change.
What would change?
I don't know, but something to wipe us all out.
But you wouldn't change physics.
But how do we know?
But you can't.
But you've just wiped out everyone.
No, but you've wiped out the people.
But how? This is the thing.
If we're not here, those physics still exist.
But
like if you're not there to see it, why? How could that change? Like it doesn't change anyway. Well, how could us not being here change?
Well, my missus taught me this yesterday.
Yeah, tell me.
Right?
Yeah, I like
that if the Earth's axis moves a tiny bit,
yep,
we're all fucked.
No, not necessarily, because the Earth axis actually we shift because they've seen in the magnetic fields that it's actually shifts. So no, we're not fucked. Okay. No, we're not fucked. But the point is, I know what you're saying. If we move a bit, but the science doesn't change. Even though it might, just say you say like it moves and we all die, right? But that's because of our environment. But at the end of the day, the actual physics and all the everything that leads to it hasn't changed. Gravity doesn't change.
Yeah, but I think in 10 million years' time, 10 million years is a long time.
Not really. Right? Not in the thing of like if they're saying like the universe is say 14 and now they've kind of like they found some other galaxies where they think that maybe now it's older than the 13 billion years that our universe is there. And then I've just lost my train of thought there. But what I'm saying
is, let's start getting into billions and like basically,
it's out of our like when you talk about billions. No, you can't comprehend.
But this is what I'm saying.
Well, it's a bunch of made up shit, really.
No,
but this is what I'm saying, right? This is
not made up shit.
What I'm saying
if you can't believe in then like people do their life work and science, and you're trying to say things like the Hubble telescope or now the new James Webb telescope, and they see that's all lies. I mean, now you're living your life like you're not being serious now, where you're just saying everything's just made up and that it can't be made because like there's experiment on top of it. This isn't just one bloke coming up with a fucking theory. Like these are like they peer review it, they go over it, they try to get it wrong, and they get these things are proven. Like as much as you say about evolution, it's actually quite
a theory.
No, it's not.
It is a theory.
Well, it is a theory, but what is a theory, Scotty?
A theory is just so basically anything to do with science has to be produced, replicated, replicated again.
Yep.
One of the greatest controversies in the scientific community, I think it was about 10, 11 years ago, was basically that in the last 150 years, 97% of your peer-reviewed studies are basically falsified junk. Like scientists are self-interested.
Well, you've got to show me that. So you're just saying that, so I've got to take it on your word. And don't give me like a website.
As much as what you're saying
I would have to see that. But what I'm saying is like, you're saying that scientists all over the world, thousands, like Einstein, all of these, right, are just they all got it wrong. All of them.
I didn't say shit, bro. You're saying
like it just doesn't make sense. Get it wrong,
but it's like when you say like things that are coming out now, everything is just like, well, I believe the bloke that discovered the double helix in DNA. I believe him because it came to him in a dream. I believe that more than somebody saying we just discovered a galaxy that's 14 billion light years away.
But you understand how they work that out, Scotty. But you understand about light waves and how they work out how something is so far away. Do you understand that there is a science behind to say it's actually insulting to say that all these people, right, are just making it up or false. That's just imaginary. But I believe a bloke who had a fucking dream, and you understand nothing about how the brain works.
They'll take a little thread and take it as far as they need for the next lot of funding.
But that's what science does, man. You work
it's a great collaborative process.
You work on the shoulders of other men, right? So you discover something, and science never says. Science never says they're 100% in anything. They've never said that. All they say is, with the information we've got, this is the best we know. And remember that a theory in science isn't what we say a theory is. We go a theory. I've got a theory. Carlton win the premiership because we've got the best forward. No, it's a hypothesis, isn't it? A theory in science is the highest level that they believe. It's like the theory of gravity. A
law.
It's like a law.
Law goes above theory.
Even in that law, things can change. Of course they can change, because what they'll do is they'll discover something new, and then they'll go, "Oh, wait a sec, that wasn't quite correct. Now it's this." So you got to accept that. Like you're going to find out.
Why do I have to accept it?
Because you find out things on the way. Like I'll give you an example. There hundreds of years ago,
They thought the world was flat because that's all they understood. I mean, if you look at it and you go, oh, yeah, it's flat and I can see the sun going, so I must be the centre of the universe. That's all they understood. But then someone come up with a telescope and then you started mapping the planets and then you're going, wait a sec, it doesn't make sense. Like, why are the planets moving like that? Like, we can't be the centre. So they change it and they go, oh, no, it's not flat, it's actually a globe and we're not. So it can change, but at the time, that was the best they knew, correct? Right? But as you move on, like if you learn more information, well, you change your ideas about it. But it still doesn't change the basis of it. Like there'll be no theory that'll come out that'll change gravity. There'll be no theory that the Earth goes around the sun. There'll be no one that discovers anything that happens. There's nuclear fusion.
So what I was saying was that if something drastic enough happened that wiped out all humankind, all mankind, right?
Science will still stay.
Okay, but what I'm saying is in 10 million years.
Yes, 10 million years.
Right, the idea to me that nothing can potentially change, right?
Not the laws that govern the universe and that they won't change.
Okay, but we don't know that because what if something just like if something drastic enough has happened to the Earth, right? Again, if something shifts,
will in 10 million years, something drastic will happen to the Earth.
Yeah. But I'm saying like if there's so much of a shift, right, in the universe, in the solar system, who's to say that things will remain the same on Earth? We don't know that. This is what I'm saying. Like, if there's such a dramatic shift in the solar system, right? Maybe it means that the Earth spins in a different way. Maybe, look, we don't know. I don't know. It's 10 million. 10 million is a long time.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is still the laws of the universe and what we live by won't change.
They won't change if nothing...
They won't change. We might spin on its fucking axis and we might start spinning that way and we all die. Right?
Yeah.
But there could be like, for example, like Neptune, right? You know, Neptune's the only planet that is actually off its axis. It's the opposite way. So it's completely different. So things can happen, right? But it still doesn't change the laws. It's still a sphere. It still rotates around the sun. You know what I mean? We've still got oxygen that is done by the the plants and all that. That will not change ever. That won't change.
Yeah, I can't stick to the idea that there's absolutely no chance of any change in 10
Of course it won't. No, the only difference is we don't know everything. Right?
Yeah.
But the actual laws, the way things work, will not change. That's the way it works. Like the way the sun works is the way it works.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if there's like a dramatic shift in the solar system, the way things work now might not be the way they will work in 10 million. 10 million years is a long time.
Not really in the universe. Well, 10 million years is nothing.
Well, if 10 million years is nothing...
Not compared to like, if it's like, they're saying it's like 14.3 billion years. For 10 million years is just a blink of an eye.
Scientists?
Of course, man. And they've got like, don't go about that. Like, I'm not here to educate you how it works. I mean, you can read a different book if you want and you can learn these things, right? You can actually study it if you want and you can learn these things, right? At the end of the day. But like at the end of the day, the basic science won't change, Andy. They won't change. Gravity won't change.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not in this universe, unless there's there's a multi-universe and they've got different laws.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not stuck on the idea that nothing will change. I just think 10 million years, things could change. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they might.
But you do believe that things don't change. You do believe, because in your Bible you believe that things don't change.
But what I'm saying is, I'm going by your scientific logic, right? How things evolve.
Yes.
Right? So like if things are evolving...
But humans evolve.
I understand that, but the world has evolved also.
But the world hasn't evolved.
So you don't think the pollution we've added to the world, you don't think that the man-made structures
Yeah,
have affected.
I don't think global warming is as they say. You know what I mean? I don't think we affect the globe as much as they say we do. I don't believe that. But there is a small effect.
So that's kind of what I was going to. So like, you know, they're saying like all these you know, all the pollution we put out in the world, everything we manufacture, everything, right? It, like, you know, surely over 10 million years,
we'll die.
There's gonna be but surely it's affecting the planet. So they're saying that it's affected us to the point now where there's now global warming.
Yeah.
Right? So like...
But global warming, you would have to... Like, for example, you would have to say, all right, so it affects global warming. But that's just an effect of pollution and that. But it hasn't changed the laws. Like, anywhere, if that happened, like Venus, they reckon like Venus and Mars, right, with what they see... Right, and you believe, they, like, Scotty probably believes, no way they've seen this. But the way they've seen it, like, Venus, right, has got an atmosphere, right, and that was like, it's warmed up so nothing can live on there. Like, it's actually hotter than Mercury, and Mercury's closer to the sun than what Venus is, right? But they said it's a sister planet. And it used to have, and then it had this runaway greenhouse effect, where it overwarmed, right? That could happen here, but it doesn't mean the laws have changed. It just means this happened, so this happened.
Did they not pay enough taxes on Venus or?
Well, Mars too. Well, Mars too, because they had an atmosphere too, and then it got wiped off. So they got a very thin atmosphere there. So I know what you're trying to say, but I'm talking about like the basic laws will not change. Things might change on Earth, right? Things might change on Earth, definitely. And if you believe in science, of course, like the sun will last about 10 billion years.
I believe in our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. You can do that.
Only sun we need, Rocco.
Yeah,
that's right.
You can do that.
That's right.
What's that?
It's the only sun we need.
Well, we can get into that too.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The world's cooked, bro. We're all cooked.
We are all cooked. And none of us really know a whole lot. You know what I found out? The older I get, the more I realise, the less I know. Does that make sense? The older I get, I realise I know even less than what I thought. You know what I mean? So the more I learn, the less I know. Like, it's weird. Yeah, because the more you learn, then you go into these rabbit holes, you know, and then you go, fuck, I didn't even know any of that before, you know.
It's a weird world, man.
Yeah.
It's a strange world.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange.
Like I said, I'm not going to be like sucked into thinking that nothing could change in 10 million years. That's it.
We probably won't be here in 10 million years because we're definitely warming up. You know what I mean? And the way the sun works is that it'll run out. It'll run out of energy.
Well, in 10 million years, I think Israel would settle.
Oh, they might have just.
Mars, they would have taken over.
They might have just completed their occupation.
Maybe.
They might have just, wiped out Hezbollah.
It could be. Who knows? Well, I know one thing for certain: we won't be here.
No, absolutely not.
We won't be here. We won't be here.
You'll be a chip.
You reckon Carlton will win a?
Well, maybe if they can implant your brain and your memory then into a chip.
Interesting. So
if you could do that,
if you could freeze like your cells or whatever, right?
Fuck.
And they told you that in 200 years they can bring you back to life. Right? Scientists are telling you this. Would you want to do it?
Yeah, because I want to see what's happening. Like I want to know what's happening. Like it'll be interesting. One thing that I spew about is that I'm going to be missing out on all the stuff that's happening, like all the technology and maybe going to Mars, or I'm gonna miss out on all that, like that's one thing. So yeah, I probably would.
What about you? I'd give it a pass. I reckon my run will be good enough. You know, be curious.
Aren't you curious to know what will be happening in 200 years' time?
But then you'd be able to see. Well, there's everything that you've even missed out on in that 200 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, if I could stay that whole time, I'd be miserable life for 300 years.
What about like 200 years? So like another 7, 8, even 10 generations of Rocco's family down the track. You rock up and they're like, fuck, we're stuck with this guy.
Yeah, they're probably dogs. But apart from that, like I know like he's with this science, but to me science, like I love the discoveries. And I love when they find out new stuff and that, you know, like I just love it. So for me to, like knowing that one day I'm going to miss out on all that, like you go, oh, it's not true. But when they say like the new James Webb tells us, you know, discover the new galaxy and that, I'm fascinated with that. Yeah. How they can even see that, you know what I mean? But when you look into it, it all makes sense. You know what I mean? But they can see, like how can they see, like, I don't know how it all works, but how can they see like 14 billion years away? You know what I mean?
Yeah. How can they?
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do they know it's 14 billion years away?
Well, again, because of like you got like light waves, and they got like certain candle. They call them like candlelight, like stars, where they get them like they work out the distance from them because of the way it illuminates and that. Like there's a way. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I understand it all. You know what I mean? But there is a way. Like I leave it to them. Another reason is why are they all lying for?
To keep their industry afloat.
Why?
How are they going to get paid? It's what they're good at.
Nah. A lot of them aren't doing that. Like a lot of them aren't doing that. Like for what? Like for you, this conspiracy theory, right? Is like, even like, for example, like the moon landing. You don't believe they went to the moon. I can already see you, right?
Oh, it depends on how much I want to set you off.
No, you can say whatever you want about it, but to hold that conspiracy, mate, it's too hard.
What is it?
Waggingthemoondoggy.com.
Yeah, I get some.
Tell me about it.
It's an author. He's written some incredible books. One of them will really put hairs on your chest. But yeah, it's basically a collation of all the different moon theories, and it's like, yeah, how do they get that cardboard box wrapped in tin foil up there and back? Yeah.
How did they build the pyramids?
Facetious.
I mean,
I was going to ask you.
They did many miraculous things, and to think like they didn't do again, with the quickly before you get to the pyramids, with the moon landing again, you would have to come with proper evidence. Like this website, I don't know who this fucking loony is. It's probably rat poison, right? So I don't like. You would have to come with
Dave McGowan is his name. Yeah.
Dave McGowan sounds like rat poison. But what I'm saying is, you still have to come up with some. Like the evidence is there.
Suspicious circumstances.
Of course he did.
Yeah. No, like you know Graham Hancock.
Yes.
Yeah. If his theories were the theories that he alludes to were the scientific consensus, even knowing what you knew now, would you be like, oh, okay, I guess that's what they say it is. I guess I'll just admit to that.
Like which ones?
Like everyone had psychic powers, and that's how they were able to levitate the blocks.
Maybe, you know, with sound waves and that. I mean, they've proven that they can move stuff with, you know, like not so much those blocks, but I've seen some stuff where they can move with sound waves and that, and maybe.
Have you seen the videos of the dogs that have climbed the pyramids in the last week?
No.
There was like a dog, like a guy was paragliding around the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And there's a dog.
Oh, really?
On top of one of the pyramids, that's been like, what the fuck? And it's just climbing up there. And a few days later, there was 3 of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, you can go into that one there, like the pyramids is like.
Yeah. They put those fellas to work for a couple of years. We haven't heard the end of it.
What's that?
That's Moses stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Old Testament.
Oh,
yeah. Look, it's an in-joke.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get it.
No, I wouldn't get it because, it's just fiction.
Oh.
But
have you seen The Prince of Egypt?
Great movie.
Yeah.
Prince of Egypt.
Great film. Cartoon.
DreamWorks 2D animation. It was around the same time that Shrek came out. Like the same people, but it's about the story of Moses. It's a good film. Like, you can appreciate it even if you didn't give.
No, I do appreciate it. Yeah. One of my great movies I love is like Ben-Hur and the 10 Commandments. That's a great movie, man.
Did you ever see the Russell Crowe 10 Commandments?
Yeah.
That looked whack.
No, it was a Russell Crowe. No,
it was Russell Crowe.
It wasn't 10 Commandments. I think that was Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark,
it was Noah's. It was real weird that one. Yeah. He done a great job, but I have to say I like Russell Crowe. But
Gladiator 2?
No, well, he's not in Gladiator 2.
I guarantee Gladiator 2 is going to be dog shit. Yeah. I got a mate of mine who says the exact.
I just watched 2 Russell Crowe movies in the last week: Cinderella Man and A Beautiful Mind.
Yeah.
Really good.
The end of A Beautiful Mind. That's going to be you one day.
Yeah. I reckon I'm him now. You know, when he's fucking seeing people, man. Like, that was a weird thing, man. That was like weird, you know. But So do you believe with the pyramids that they say that it could have been like an energy source, you know, a way of... or do you think they were tombs?
More than likely. I mean, there's plenty of...
But they never found any...
They have all these chambers that they like won't let them explore.
Yeah.
Who won't let them explore?
Because the people that are there,
like the Egyptian fucking like archaeologists and that, they've taken control and I can understand, like, before that people were just pillaging those places, you know. Like, but you got to remember they were like full white granite.
Yeah.
They said that if you can look it up and you can actually see, you know, like someone took a photo. I think it was Mick Jagger who took a photo of the pyramids when they were first built. But they were like, they would say there would be like a desert and there'd be like this pyramid just glistening, you know, like white, just fucking standing out.
Yeah.
And then once, you know, hundreds of years later, people are just they're stealing all the granite and building their homes out of it, you know, because if you look at the top of it, there's just a bit of granite just on the top of it where they didn't get to. And then to build it like in 20 years, I mean, that's fucking a bit like, come on, man.
Yeah.
There's there's over 2 million blocks that are between a ton and 10 ton each, right? 20 years?
Yeah, well, there are cathedrals that are far more impressive in Europe that took even hundreds of years. I would take those any other day over a pyramid. The most impressive thing about the pyramids is
the size
their location, how they line up with stars and the certain distance relative to each other.
I can understand that, because I don't think the Egyptians, like, I was saying, we think that past people were dumb. And we're the smartest now. I think we had smarter people, and then something happened. You know, like I don't know.
Well, everyone always says, "Oh, we're so much smarter or so much dumber," but like they'll never accept that we've pretty much just been the same.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe they reached, and maybe they reached a certain level, but in a different direction. You know what I mean? They went in more of, like we were saying, they were moving. Maybe stones with
their mind.
I don't know.
The interesting comment here from Equality 7 and a few numbers. It was originally a single large block over a tomb. Then someone stacked a smaller one on top. Then another, and so on. Tons of evidence. This is not a mystery or a theory. There is evidence of the quarries where they would go alone. Traces of the waterway used to bring... Can't read that because I love her. Bring them on boats via the Nile.
Yeah, right, and I've seen all that where they would, you know, because the quarries are hundreds of kilometres away, right? That they mine these things, you know. But yeah, they could have brought them along, you know. There's all these theories, you know what I mean. How did they stack them up? Like, how did they bring them up so high? Did they have some sort of, like, maybe some sort of, you know, levers or whatever? Then they say there could have been a ramp, but then the ramp would have been bigger than the pyramid itself. Was it aliens? You know what I mean? But the thing is, like, this,
Israelis.
it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know. I don't know what they are. I don't know how they were built. Like, they were pretty precise. And if they're saying they're a Bronze-aged people, they're using bronze, I mean, they would have other equipment. They had to have, man. How do you cut out, blocks that are, 10 tons or whatever, and then precisely fit them together?
It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy, man. And not just that, not just the pyramids, you got the Sphinx and all of them, like, they reckon some of those, like, statues, their face is, like, symmetrical, but to a T. Like, they say, we would struggle these days to get it so precise. So, I don't know.
So what do you reckon, aliens?
Nah. But it could be. Could be. Could aliens have come and then, started the gene pool and
like Prometheus?
I don't know, man. Like, these are a lot of questions. I mean, we can sit here and debate everything all day and all night. And, you know what I mean? Do we really know? I don't think we really know.
Yeah. I went to Cairns last year as I was flying in. There's a mountain shaped like a pyramid. What's that about?
I don't know.
Same in Antarctica.
Well, how many, like, on the serious note, how many times, like, in the Amazon, how many lost cities do they find there? Like, that's one of the most uncovered, undiscovered areas, and they'll find, like, whole cities underneath because they just can't get. And the only reason they found them is now that they do the
LDR or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Where do they come from? And what about in Turkey? Have you seen those underground fucking? Have you seen in Turkey? There's like, they found these underground, like, tunnels and living areas that are the size of cities.
Yeah.
There was, and some bloke found it, right? He's fucking knocking down his wall, and then bang, there's like and he was walking in, and there's a whole fucking city down there. Like, imagine how were they built? Like, underground, like, full cities,
So we'd never have that here, right? Because we're such a young country. There's not much to us at the moment. Whereas places like Turkey, Egypt, they've been civilized for years.
Yeah, of course. 6,000 years.
6,000 years,
That's why I saw a thing in...
Same with Italy and all that. Yeah. Like, they're old places. That's why you see these old...
A couple of months ago, there was, like, this beautiful, like, ceramic, like, floor that was found in Turkey, and it was all written in fucking Greek, of course. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was, It was
as I said, to me, there's more mystery in the past. Like, there's, like, all this stuff happen, and, like, like, we've only really... How long have we been here, really? Like, if you look at it, our civilization, a couple thousand years or whatever, you know what I mean, as we evolved, to this, it's really nothing, compared to what it was before. Mate, who knows how many, I don't know, how many different people or generations of people were before that, and then they died out somehow, you know what I mean? Like, they reckon that all, like, all the animals, all the species on Earth, like 99% have died, you know what I mean? So,
that's like, crazy.
So, far out.
So, to that point, how we say, like, you were saying earlier as well, that, the younger generation, they're not as smart, they're not as, So, would that have happened...
Maybe
3,000 years ago,
maybe,
where like, civilization was peaking, just in different ways, and then we kind of got dumb.
Yeah,
kind of hit this lull because we were dumb.
My theory about all this. My theory about all this is civilization is collapsing to me, right? I believe it, and if you see it in other parts, like the Romans and the Egyptians, it all kind of happened the same. And to me, we were talking about, someone said about the gender identification and that. I think that's a big part of it. Soon as like, it happened in other civilizations, as the Romans and the Egyptians, they found near the end of their civilization, the gender identification kind of got muddled. and then the whole civilization kind of fell over. You know what I mean? So,
Weimar Germany.
what's that mean?
Weimar. That was the period of Germany prior to World War II.
Yeah. And what happened there?
Oh, Weimar was where it was when Germany was under the Treaty of Versailles.
Yeah.
And basically between 1917 to 1932, it was just the hyperinflation currency was fucked. Prostitutes walking the street. It was like mother-daughter shit. It was all where like that kind of German they're into weird shit. Stuff came from the whole transgender stuff came from there, but the response was quite severe and quick, and that's how they ended up where they were. Prior to World War II. Yeah. And then also, Rome was all immigration.
Yeah. And I don't know. It just seems to me like we're at the start of it, but I don't know. Like it's to me like we
Sodom
are
and Gomorrah.
as smart as
we're a vassal state to the US. We're tied to they're at the end of their empire.
Yeah.
But it won't be like a complete fizzle out and destruction. It'll just change.
But you said that like the Romans, like they were in power for like 500 years. You know what I mean? Like 600 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Like how long has like the US been in power for?
Well, they've been around 250 years.
So like they were, and they collapsed.
Well, they say the average.
The Greeks,
age is about 200.
like you get Alexander the Great. He almost took over the world. Like he was there, and then you had before that you had what was that bloke?
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan, man, he almost took over the bloody whole world. But their society collapsed too. And so 200 years or 250 years or 100 years. It's not long at all, you know what I mean? Like,
Tell you what, Rat Poison's having a crack at you in the chat. He's telling you got no idea.
Yeah, I know.
He's not a fan, but he's on.
No, I know.
This Rat Poison guy.
Yeah,
he's a bit of a.
Well, someone who's got that name already, he's just saying he's a little bit like out there, but he's all right. Keep answering.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, what's fake news? What am I saying that's fake, you dumbass?
Yeah.
Did I say it was a definite, or did I say that's what I believe?
That's what you believe. You're allowed to believe what you want.
I can believe what I want.
This is unfiltered.
I believe what I want.
Whatever you want.
And the funny thing is, I'll never be proven right or wrong because we'll all be dead by then,
Exactly
so
right.
Who knows if I'm right or wrong?
We're just talking, mate. We're just having a chat.
To me, like, I see, like, the young people, as smart as they're getting as far as, like, like, information, I don't know.
Even in that way, like Zoomers and Gen Alpha and that, they're almost as tech illiterate as Boomers. They've got more technology and everything, at least advanced. Or they can barely know how to use their phone. You can't even use an actual computer. That's what skitzes me. Like, I think Will just came up just around the right amount of time.
Yeah, we got to learn
how to use shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I reckon kids these days, like I went to that Travis Scott concert last week, and I'm watching the youth of today. I'm just like,
but have we
all the broccoli heads?
Yeah. Same
but now that you're saying that, has that always? Has that always happened? All generations have said.
Yeah, I think I'm just getting old. Yeah, I'm just getting old.
That's all. You're going,
I'm just getting old and grumpy.
But you know what I have noticed? Seriously, the young generation, like, they can't communicate properly because of social media. You know what I mean? They're just like, they're not street smart. They're becoming a lot, like I've said this before, like, I don't know if it was right or wrong, or if it was a good thing or a bad thing, but when we were young, when I was young, like, we were street smart. Seriously, if we got invaded, I reckon you put a gun in hand, we could protect ourselves, I don't know if the young generation could these days, you know what I mean? They just...
They TikTok live it.
Yeah.
They jump on TikTok live and say, I'm with my kidnapper. I'm with my kidnapper.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, look, I reckon there's still hope. I reckon there is still hope.
I think there's always hope. Right? I believe in I believe in the human, the humans, and I believe there's hope in them, and I believe they'll
come good.
They'll come good. I believe they'll always come good.
I think
there's enough good people.
The experience is different. See, that's where I I think humans are inherently evil, right? I think we're inherently evil.
I think there's enough good people.
I just, like I said last time, those good people just aren't rich yet. They're not rich. I think anybody who's good just isn't rich.
I think there's enough good in humans. Like, how can I be the ones who believe this and you are the opposite? Like, I think there's just enough good in people that will get out of this. You know what I mean? I think. I don't. I think there's too many of the wrong people in too many important positions, and this is what they want. They want a dumbed down population. I believe that too. I believe they do want a dumbed down, and
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Step one was take their guns away. But maybe not step one.
Well,
but
the US haven't taken their guns away.
Not yet.
No, I doubt they will.
You reckon?
I doubt they will. Because it's in there. Isn't it in their constitution?
Yeah. You won't be able to change that. The gun issue in the US has nothing to do with like the prevalence of guns. It's demographics.
Can they have any guns?
No, you can't have fully automatics, stuff like that.
So they're kind of like which I find fair enough.
Their gun problem is like a crime issue. It's like a gang thing. Like say if you took the US's white population and just took their gun crimes, it'd be 1-to-1 of what you see in similar demographics in Europe. It's when you have like, Chicago, Detroit, anywhere in California, once between Hispanics and blacks, it's like that's where the gun issue is, but it's still a rights issue.
Like I said, I'm a believer in guns. I think everybody should.
Or at the very least, know how to use one.
Yeah, safely.
I mean, it's just a cool thing.
Well, the only people who
I've only shot a gun once.
How do you feel?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Just a 22, shooting at spaghetti tins.
I love guns.
On my uncle's farm.
Yeah,
I love guns, and I don't mind hunting, and like a lot of our shooting was like targets and that anyway. You know what I mean? But I got my gun license, and no big deal. But if you take it away from me, like it doesn't stress me out.
If you went for your gun license today, they'd let you have it.
What was that?
If you went for your gun license again today, do you reckon they'd let you have it?
Yeah, I'm a good bloke.
Answer that questionnaire honestly.
Yeah, but I don't think there's nothing they can get on me that they wouldn't give me my gun. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know what you're saying. You're saying that you don't want any rights taken away.
I think everybody should have the rights to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? As long as you're not harming anyone. All right? As long as you're not harming anyone.
Should there be some control?
Nope.
Zero.
Just don't kill people. Don't hurt people. Don't be a shit person. You know what I mean?
But there's always got to be rules.
Oh, no, there has to be rules.
There has to be rules.
I don't have to like it.
No, you don't have to like it, but I mean, you do follow rules anyway.
We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there has to be some sort of rules. We can't just let everyone just go fucking.
I don't like the idea of being punished for wanting to say protect your home, protect your family, protect yourself. Because at the moment, the only people with guns are cops and bad guys. You know what I mean? And you can be as tough as you want, but
would you carry a gun?
If I was allowed to, I'd be strapped right now. I'd be strapped.
Yeah, you own a bottle in Pascoe Vale, bro.
24/7. Do you know what I mean? I like guns. I think guns are great. I think with the right education, they're amazing. Right? And I think it's the people.
Omar says, you say people are inherently evil, but you're pro guns.
Yeah, absolutely. I am pro guns. Absolutely.
Even though they're, like he says, they're evil. Yeah, but
knowing that people are evil, they've got guns.
I don't know. I really know. I do understand what you're saying about taking away. Like as soon as you start taking away rights.
And you bend over for one. Well, guess what? You're bending over for the next one.
But then you take away. But then you agree that you should take away rights of women.
Why?
In abortion.
No, I said women should have the right to choose. My personal belief is I don't like abortion.
Oh yeah, but
I've always said my opinion is irrelevant,
So
and that I'm very pro-choice. That nobody should be told what to do with their own body.
Nobody. So there should be no one should be told to do anything. Like you shouldn't be taking away people's rights of anything.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. If someone's got a piece and they're going around shooting people, you know what? You shouldn't be allowed to have a gun.
No, of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
But
there
like,
should be. Yeah.
You know, you don't. Again, if you're not harming anyone, and it's.
But isn't that a way of gun control? Like, if he's like,
but you're harming.
If he's a psycho, do you give him a gun? Should he have a right? Like, if his tendency to be a bit of a psycho, do you give him a gun?
Well, we already had a great system. You still had to apply for a license.
Yeah.
But then,
but you can still have a gun now.
Yeah. It's just not as.
You're highly restricted of what kind of gun.
Not necessarily. I don't even think it's that bad.
I don't think it's that bad either. The only thing you can't have, I said, is like you can't have like. Like a semi-automatic or whatever, which I understand. Why do you need a semi-automatic for?
I got a lot of trees. I got a lot of kangaroos in my backyard. I don't know. But like,
so they're restricted, but you can still go and get a gun. But they made laws. So it's got to be locked up. You got to have the bullets, different blades. You got to have a place that you have to be at a sporting organisation.
I knew a bloke that used to keep his chuff in his fucking gun safe.
Yeah,
because they do random knock inspections as well.
It's the best, mate. Those gun safes are the best, mate. Like you can't get it. My dad used to keep his gun in one of those old Italian, wardrobes with the little brown key. That was it. That was his lock-up key, Until the cops did come one day to check, and they said you can't keep it in there, mate. You got to get a gun safe.
Yeah. A mate of mine lived on the corner of Armour Road and Chapel Street, and in the laundry in the unit he was in was his landlord's gun safe.
Wow.
And like hanging fucking antlers and shit from the roof. The guy didn't live there or anything. It was just my mate Bill and 3 backpackers, and it's just like, oh yeah, just got the gun safe there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But you can still have a gun there. You can still have a gun, mate, but you just can't carry it around.
Yeah, so I think we should be able to carry it around. I think. Why not?
I don't know. I really I would have to look into it. Like, I don't know. Would you really? I mean, you're carrying a gun. I'm trying to be devil's advocate here. You're carrying a gun. I know what you're saying. You're protecting, but is there? Everyone's just carrying a gun. I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
Like, it's a bit like, and then like,
I'll tell you what.
You're getting psychos walking around with guns.
Well, you've already got psychos walking around with guns. At least now, you've got people who aren't psychos with guns also.
I know you're getting some psychos, but then you're going to get anyone road rage, some cunts pulling out a pistol on.
But it happens.
Yeah, I know, but it happens very rare. Like, how many times you hear a road rage, someone pulls out a gun? You rarely hear it, man. Let's be serious.
You know what? I'm down, bro. I don't know.
But if you're giving everybody guns, I'm telling you,
no.
People are pulling out guns out on road rage.
I don't mind the.
I'm pulling out a gun in road rage.
I don't mind the license thing. Going through a mental evaluation. I
don't think you should carry one.
I don't see the issue. It'll make people think twice before getting lippy. It'll make people think twice about a lot of things.
Yeah, I know, but in saying that, like, how many people are really getting lippy? How many, like, dangerous situations are you in?
I own a bottle shop, Rocco.
Yeah.
People get lippy to me daily.
Yeah, I know,
mate.
but is that really that threatening?
I get people coming in a lot trying to rob me.
Yeah, I understand that. But again, you should be just walking around. What are you going to start pulling out guns on these people? Imagine they got guns too. They're going to come in straight away.
Well, then I'm shooting first.
Then there's more danger.
Then I'm shooting first, mate. What can I say?
Yeah, I know, but see, like at the moment, you haven't had to shoot anyone. Like you're going to put yourself in that situation.
Maybe. Are you saying the old Joe Rogan? You're attracting that energy.
I just think if everyone's got a gun, like if everyone's got a gun, right, you're going to get psychos are going to have guns too.
Absolutely.
And I know what you're saying. There are psychos now who've got guns. I realise that.
Yeah.
But there's not that many of them. You can't tell me there's like people just walking around with guns. So all of a sudden you're going to have like these fucking dead shits walking around. They know you got a gun. They don't give a fuck because it's not going to make a difference to them that you've got a gun.
You don't think so?
No. It's like saying if if jail is a deterrent, it's not. The jails are full.
Yeah.
It's not a deterrent. So what I'm saying is now all of a sudden you're going to get a bloke come in and he's going to pull out the gun to you, right? Because he wants a fucking bottle of bourbon, right? Dickhead, right? What are you going to do? You're going to pull out the gun. There's going to be a death, right? But in the other situation, he would have come in, been a dickhead to you, but he's not.
He would have come in, pulled the piece out. I've got nothing to protect me. Now I'm getting robbed.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is most likely he wouldn't have had a piece.
You ever been robbed?
Yeah, heaps times.
Yeah?
Yeah. Heaps times.
Yeah, but but you're talking about someone just takes a fucking bottle.
No, I've had people, mate, the first weekend I was at my shop, the very first weekend.
This is a story I already heard.
The very first weekend, it's actually hilarious. I didn't know this, but the people who had the shop before me got robbed every single Saturday night.
Yeah.
For like 6 months straight. And they were Chinese. The owner lived in Sydney. She had Chinese uni students working. These guys didn't give a shit about the shop. This guy used to come in, threaten them. They'd open the till, hand over the till, right?
How do you used to threaten with a knife? What?
So I knew nothing about this. So it's my first Saturday night at the shop, and I'm behind my desk. So this guy's walked in and he hasn't quite seen me. He's done a lap of the shop and he's come to the counter. He's seen me. He's like, this guy's
What's his place?
This guy's not Chinese,
is the
right?
usual guy.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's not Chinese.
Yeah, he's not Chinese.
I could see, and I was like confused. Why is he looking at me like that? His hand's in his pocket. I kid you not. He's gone, open the till.
Oh, with his
like
finger.
that, right? And I've looked at him. I'm like, is that your finger? Like that. And he's like, open the fucking till, open the till. I'm like, all right, sweet, I'm opening the till. I went down. I pulled, not a gun, I pulled something out. He shit himself. I've chased him out of the shop, and I've had a chat to him. And I've made sure that he never came back. Now, heaps of people come in.
Yeah?
Yeah,
But you didn't get robbed then, it was attempted robbery.
That one there was attempted.
Yeah.
I've only been, like, robbed for the cash once. I wasn't working. And I've told, like, any staff member, if someone comes in, just let them.
Of course,
just
man.
take what you want. It's not worth it. It's not your business. It's my business. Yeah.
That's right.
But it happens so often. I've had knives pulled out on me. I've had a piece pulled out on me. So you cop that a lot.
Yeah.
Especially Friday, Saturday nights.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Look, I know you've got some sort of argument because you do own a liquor store and that. Look, there would be like a more.
I would love to shoot someone in self-defense. You know what I mean?
More of an argument for you.
Yeah.
But in saying that, if you gave
Hey,
everyone a
you
gun,
want
how many more people would come in with a gun then? I reckon there'd be a lot more.
Well, I'll tell you what. You shoot one, and that's lesson learnt for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you take him out the back and bring out the gimp? That was
The old Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
The old Pulp
Great
Fiction.
movie.
Yeah.
That is the best.
Great film.
That is the best.
Great film.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a spin out, but because like you know, I'm just a country lad. You know, you hear about this shit in Moe and Morwell, but yeah, anywhere up here, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's just
every
normal.
Saturday night. Fuck.
Where before me, it was every Saturday night.
Now
I've been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Not really. It was more early on. Now, you'll get like an odd group of guys coming in. They're not from the area, and they'll just.
They coming in for drinks or money?
They'll just it'll be just drinks.
Yeah.
They'll come in. They'll pinch a couple slabs and just run out.
Yeah.
They do that. Yeah, I can see them doing that or grabbing some bottles.
Yeah,
and
so
just
you
running out.
cop that, like it's just.
But
just
that's
gonna
expected, huh? That's like you kind of.
So like it's really bad, but when I'm doing my finances and I try to predict the finances,
You predict
I
so much.
always take into account theft.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's just something that happens.
Yeah.
So it's annoying, it's frustrating, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to kind of cop it.
You work in a liquor store late at night.
It's all the red flags.
Yeah.
So you just got to cop it.
There's nothing you can do to security.
Oh, it's not really worth having a
that's
security guard, you know. So, like, I'm all right when I'm working. I feel like I can, I can stand up for myself, so I'm all right.
I reckon you, seriously, just by the way you look, you'll deter a couple of people just by your appearance.
I'll tell you a story now. I don't care. I'll say it on camera. This is hilarious. I had this Indian guy actually, come into my shop, and I knew he was dodgy from the way he was hanging around the shop outside. And then just before he's walked in, so there were a couple people in the store. Just before he's walked in, he's put his hoodie on, and I'm just watching him on the camera. So I'm like, something's going to happen here. And he's done a lap of this. They always do a lap.
Yeah.
Just to scope it out. And I've got a small shop. It's not big. So he does a lap, and he comes to the counter, and he puts this little knife on my counter. Doesn't say a word. Puts this little knife, and he like looks at the register, and I'm like, I pulled out. I go, fucking like that.
Did you do that crocodile Dundee?
Right? I got one like this, and I just put it down like that. I kid you not, put it back in his pocket. So you get guys who try, you know, get guys who try.
Yeah.
And like I would never hire like a female to work late. Like, I just won't. Yeah. It's so unsafe.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a very safe environment.
Yeah.
So, it happens a lot, man.
Yeah, wow.
More than you
spin out.
Yeah. What do you think? You got a milk bar 2 doors down. He gets hit up 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Still got milk bars. Yeah. Even they've run out of fashion down at Gold
There's a milk bar down at Devon Road, Baskerville.
Yeah, right.
Far out. It's been 3 hours.
Yeah. Great work.
Flown.
We're going to do a record exchange.
Far out. We always do this.
Next time. We've got to do it next time.
I'll listen to him in the meantime.
Done.
I brought a record with
All right.
me.
Did ya?
The 2002 Grand Final record. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Well, I've got them all here.
Yeah, I donated a bunch before.
Yeah.
You know, there's one with Voss, you know,
Crazy.
Mog the Scum, but I only just noticed this before I left. It's actually got, because I guess it would have been 30 years, it's got the anatomy of the 1972 Grand Final.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's been talked about more. You know, I interviewed John Nichols, man.
Yes.
So,
did you?
Oh,
yeah.
There's Bruce Dawall in the bar.
Yeah, I've seen that photo before.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a photo today that showed Bruce Dawall 30, and then it showed a West Coast player at 30.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Dawall looked like he was 80.
Yeah.
Well, you giving that to us? Far out.
Yeah.
He's donated, mate. There's some records there, Andy.
Yeah, I've seen. I was having a look at them.
Well, there are some that are like
before the show a few weeks back.
Even John Nichols, because like I inherited all those records off my pop-up, and then his brothers and sisters and that, they boarded Carlton players back in the day, and it's like one of those, you know, every now and then you hear a story but you don't hear all the details. Then like my dad's the worst for it, because he'll just be like, because like there was this old portrait of John Nichols that looked like it was 200 years old, and it was like, oh yeah, like my auntie, you know, she hung that in her living room like until the day she died. She adored John Nichols so much, and like 2 weeks later he's just like, yeah, John Nichols used to board like with my auntie. That's why. Yeah, she like fucking prayed to it every night at dinner. Yeah,
that's crazy. Dogs.
fucking dogs.
Disgusting. Burn it.
Here he is.
Yeah.
Don't get me
We
started.
thought that he was him,
we did.
but he would have been nothing without him.
Let's hope.
exactly.
Listen. Let's hope he is him.
Oh, let's hope he is. We're talking about Michael Voss.
Voss and Lee Matthews.
Let's hope he does turn out. Just to finish up, I think he's got this year.
I think he's got 6 weeks.
He's everyone's villain.
6 weeks.
If it was up to me, he would have been gone half time of the semi-final.
No chance.
He would have been gone half time of the semi-final if I was in charge.
But there's no chance. Like 6 weeks, so if we're 0.
If we're 0-6, you reckon he's safe? I know we won't be. But if we are,
Fuck, it'd be tough.
Brisbane, we're 1-5?
The Vultures, is it the Vultures will be out? They'll be out for blood.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, if we hit 2-0, or 0-2, the Vultures will be out.
Fuck,
if we lose to Richmond.
Fuck, if you lose to Richmond. We almost did last
I know.
Oh yeah.
But they started the season. They beat Sydney.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. I think the next week.
Nah, it wasn't the next week.
Maybe a couple of weeks later.
Nah, Sydney started like 7-0, 8-0.
No. I'm pretty sure.
Geelong and GWS were clear out front. Sydney were down 1 or 2.
You reckon? They lost a week after.
Once GWS and
No, I
Geelong
think you're right,
started
maybe
losing.
round 2 or round 3.
I think it was early. It was real early.
Sydney lost to Richmond just before Easter.
It was Geelong who was like 0.
They were 7-0 when they played us the first time. We were like, there's no way they can go 8-0.
Round 4.
Round
round 3, sorry.
Yeah.
Round 3, because they had opening round.
Yeah.
1, 2, round 3, 82 to 77. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
well, we could be. Well, the mail I've gotten is Noah Cumberland.
Yeah, I'm hearing that too.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that too.
What's that?
Noah Cumberland from the Tigers, potentially, as a free agent.
Listed free agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was okay a couple of years back, I think.
Yeah, he's got some good highlights.
This is the problem, man. Like,
look, just got to play it
okay. Like, all right, let's bring him over.
We're waiting for the bombshell Traka lawsuit to go through over summer. And then,
I was convinced, man, when we got pick 3, I'm like, we're getting Petrarca.
Yeah, I did.
It's fucking happening.
Me and my son were doing exactly the same thing. He goes, we've got to get Petrarca now. You give him pick 3, you pick up Petrarca. That's exactly what we need, you know?
Yeah.
What was your idea on getting rid of Harry for Petrarca?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I agree.
No. Absolutely not. No chance. No fucking chance.
I wouldn't give Melbourne any players, just picks.
I would have given them
futures. Oh, mate, Chera, but like that's just because he's a fucking whipping boy at the moment. But.
I would have given them. You know what? Take our first pick this year. Take our first pick next year.
That's what it would have taken.
And then take fucking Kennedy. Take Owies. You need a forward. Take Owies.
Yeah, that's what it would have. That's what it would have taken.
It would have been. It would have been.
Taken.
Yeah.
That's what it would have taken. And I'm sure they. I'm sure they had some sort of talk.
Contingency.
Yeah. I reckon they had something there.
Yeah, just Melbourne, just too
It
much.
was weird because even Oliver was almost.
I wanted Oliver to go to Geelong.
Would you have taken Oliver?
Nah.
No fucking way.
We
wanted him to go to Geelong.
We don't
so
fix
much.
players.
We make them worse.
We make them worse. And he needs fixing, and I think Geelong would have been a good fit for him. Him and Stengel would have been going out.
Yeah, it would have been a bad time to be a bag in Geelong with Oliver, Stengel and Smith.
Bailey Smith, yeah.
I still love how everyone was like surprised about Smith going Geelong. Like I knew that two fucking years ago.
Bailey.
Yeah.
That was happening.
Actually, before the draft, my son actually spoke to him. He saw him at a place. And he spoke to him, and he goes, "What's the chance of coming to Carlton?" He goes, "No, I'll be in the blue and white stripes." Yeah. And he said that weeks before, so it was already signed.
Yeah. I think the AFL just does this thing where they want to make it
it's a load. That's why I don't get involved in the draft, because it's just a load of fucking bullshit. And then in the last day, there's all these trades. Look, what got done before that?
There was
nothing.
It was no real bombshells. It was pretty much exactly everything happened as was expected.
I think Dan Houston was the only one expected to come to us.
Port a fucking retarded for letting him go.
I had this feeling that he just wouldn't come over.
I thought when we got 12 and 14, I thought, all right, we're going to get him now.
Yeah.
It wasn't the be all end all if we did or not for me. I didn't really care.
Nah. I reckon it's the best thing not getting him. I don't care what anyone says. All these people saying like, we're not serious about it. I don't get it, mate. Like, it's not what we needed. Like, what? How does Houston fit into this? Like, it's not what we needed. If he was a pure midfielder, like I'd go, let's fucking do everything you can to get him. But he'll play in the midfield. This sounds like Williams.
No, that was Jack Williams.
That sounds like Williams to me.
I've never been more angry, other than this time, like now.
You are angry,
but I'm pissed off at the football club. You know how angry I am? Can I tell you how angry I am?
What'd you do?
So we got our membership packs. Well, not packs, but we got our vouchers in the email. Yeah. I got a $50 one, and I signed up my missus to a non-access game. She doesn't care about footy.
Yeah.
But I wanted her to be a Carlton member, so I got a non-access one. She had a $25 thing.
Oh, yeah.
$25. So we had $75 all up. Tell you how angry I am? I went to the Carlton shop, and I added, a T-shirt, and she wanted a pair of gloves. And the balance was more than the vouchers by like $5. I said, you know what? Fuck these dogs.
I'm not giving them any money.
I'm not giving them a cent outside of my membership money until they gain my trust again.
Yeah.
So I removed the shirt and I bought a little bar mat. I did. And it covered the delivery as well.
Yeah.
So fuck them. I'm cut. I'm dirty. I'm so dirty at the football club.
I'm optimistic.
Are you?
Look,
it's not like I'm not. I'm disappointed from the latter half of the year, but I'm a bit of a bloomer. I can see whether the right things can fall in the right way. the expectations just the same as the start of this year, just top 4, and then anything from there?
I mean that's expectations, top 4, and I think that's what we have to do. If we don't hit top 4, like if we maybe finish 6th, win a final, and then lose the second one, what's that?
Done nothing. You've done nothing. And we're in the window. Like.
Even if that happened, that'd be 3 years really in a row. Every other club above us has been doing it for the last 10 straight. But
that's the other thing you got to consider too. Like, we really just started making finals. I mean, you look at Brisbane. There's 6-7 years of eliminated.
I get that.
I'm still going through my stages of grief here. So next time you see me,
I'm in anger.
It's like the second one. You've been stuck there.
I've been in pure anger since that semi-final.
Yeah. I've never left a game early. Never turned off a game early. I've never slapped the couch. I should have done the first 2. I didn't. I got sucked in the third quarter, but I was smashing.
What's his in the final?
Yeah,
I was just
that first Doherty fumble. That was the first one. That was the first
60-0.
I was just numb. I was just watching it. Like there's nothing you can do. Like I just sat there. And then I really did want us to score.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking more for myself. I'm thinking I don't want to be embarrassed here.
But even I was like, Dad, Cripps just kicked the first goal. Like, we could be on.
Yeah.
We only need 9 more
money on Carlton at half time.
Yeah.
That's how dumb I am. That's how sick in the head I am.
In that third quarter,
I know.
I still thought we had a chance.
I know, so did I.
Like dumb. But that's more of you just
hoping.
Hope, and it's your faith in your faith in the club. Like your team, you want them to do well. You know what I mean? But reality, you knew it was already tough before we got there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was very tough. We had no right to win that game, but to be down 60-0,
that was bad.
That's embarrassing. That's not good. And I hope it doesn't damage the team. I hope it doesn't damage us.
Yeah, equality, Rocco. Don't forget we subbed out Moss. Yeah, we did sub out Moss, and that's that's another true. Peter Bluebagger just fucking says something true, man. Don't give fucking Andy a gun until. Can you imagine at the 40 made the fucking?
He's like he's going straight to Prince's Park.
Yeah, so man, there you brought back fucking. Anyway, that's why I try to not think about it, and then next year we just hope. That's the problem, but
onwards and up. You got it.
Hope for the best. I was about to say hope for the best, and that's the fucking problem.
As much as the last 3 years have been they've gone so quick, but it's also been the 3 longest seasons I think I've ever watched. I enjoy the ride, the journey. Obviously, I want a certain outcome, but if it happens, it happens.
And that's the whole thing, man, and that's what you got to do.
That catharsis too, when we get raped by fucking Hawthorn, whatever, I just want to be in that chat, watching this show, or in your show, and just...
I'll still say that was a funeral, that Hawthorn Carlton.
That fourth quarter, I was sitting there, I was like, I don't even want them to score. They don't deserve it.
I just remember
that was worse than the Sydney. It was just a parade, mate.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there behind the goals because it was our home game.
Yeah, our home game.
So I was sitting there behind, just on the pocket there, and just watching it, and I could see the ground, man. I could see the way they were switching and bang, hitting players. Goal.
It was a training drill.
And I was going to Dylan, you know what? I'm hating this, but fuck, how good is this, man? How good are they?
Yeah.
How good are they? And we just look lost, man. And you're probably right now when you look back, that was
My favourite part about the whole day was half time in the Legends Lounge function room. Mars walks in, and we're both just screaming at each other, but not at each other. Yeah. We're just venting. And then, one of the Carlton people comes up to us and goes, "Boys, you need to calm down." Or whatever. Mark's like, "Fuck off!" It was good. Crazy.
It was tough, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But look, let's hope that again, this hope. I don't know, man. Look, I'm just going to leave it to them. I was saying to you before. I hope it was injuries last year. I hope it was the injuries that you know, that second half downfall kind of. It's really 2 out of 9, 10 games, whatever. When you look at it like that, that's bad. We won 2 games. There's no way of looking at it. So
I always said Owies and Kennedy were holding us back. I said Owies was shit and he's worth pick 3.
Yeah, far out. You know, so to me now, get the full list. Get like some pre-season into these players that didn't have a Walsh and all that, right? Even Chera, like people are bagging Chera, but
I'm a big fan of Chera.
To me, just give him because he was good the year prior, you know. So just give him the full season. Try out these new kids like Cooper Lord and Moya. This prick free. Look, he's going to be playing.
Has to get 30 touches plus every game for what we've given up. From the get-go.
Yeah, there's a bloke, Alex Torruz in the draft. He's from Warragul, so I was just like, oh man. But
that'd be nice.
He'll end up in North. He'll probably end up around 9th.
That's it.
Yeah,
Call it done.
Absolute pleasure, fellas. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
I hope you enjoyed the chat.
Yeah, no, it was great.
We got a new insight into Scotty there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean a single word that I said.
No, you meant
stirring you up.
You know, the problem is, this will be on here now forever.
Yeah.
Whatever we said, right or wrong, and also the comments, especially from Rap Poison, those comments will be on there forever.
Yeah, of course.
Forever and ever. So you know how you say things have to change. No, in 10 million
years. Bring it up.
It's all there, mate. It's all there. Who are these dickheads, you know? So, oh, that Rocco was right. He was fucking right. The society just collapsed. So that's it. So so enjoyed. Yeah, I'll be off. So we'll be off for about 3 weeks or so, and then we'll be back. And we've got some big guests coming on. We've got a flat earther coming on.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So
still reckon it's hollow.
Well, that's another theory, man. There's the hollow. They reckon the moon could be man-made and hollow because there was a bit of something hit it and there was this ringing like a bell for ages, but that's been debunked.
By who?
Yeah. By the peer review.
By God. It's bullshit, mate. I made that fucking and I fucking put it on orbit, and it's fucking still going. And every once in a while, I give it a push to keep it going, mate. No, it's been good. Thanks, Scotty.
No, it's been a pleasure.
And that's it. We'll say goodbye.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for watching,
a few weeks.
fellas.
All right, let's do this. I think I did I have? Yep. All right. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in about 3 weeks' time. Done. See you guys.
Never force anyone to choose me. If you think you can find something better elsewhere, then go ahead. I'm not holding you back. Life's too short to hang on to someone who's not sure they want to stay. I believe in freedom, in the truth of feelings. If you must stay, let it be because your heart tells you this is where you belong. Not because I asked you to. I want to be a choice, not a default option. I deserve someone who sees my value, who understands what I bring to their life. I don't want someone who stays with me out of fear of loneliness or out of habit. I want someone who stays because they can't imagine life without me. The door is always open. You're free to leave at any time. So if you think your happiness lies elsewhere, I won't stand in your way. And in the meantime, I'll keep going. I'll continue to build my own life, to be happy on my own, because my happiness doesn't depend on your presence, but on my own ability to blossom.